Oh my goodness. Wow.
He might call.
Wow.
Oh, he folded.
Welcome everyone. We are back for another special edition of the GG Millions. This is the pregame show. Jeff Gross alongside Fedor Holz, who will be joining us momentarily. We got the man crown up guy, legend, the prince of poker joining us. And of course, a resume that speaks for itself. We're going to see almost 48 million in live earnings. Just an absurd stat. All-time money list number 10. He's got accolades we could talk about for a long time. We're going to talk about some of that when he joins us. And of course, just a stacked final table. Almost $100 million in earnings, 17 titles among them, including the number one on the all-time list here for the GG Millions. We're going to spend time on Artur as well, who is here. But let's take a look at last week's winning hand as we give Fedor a second to join us here. And B Binder rocking that Austrian flag. Fedor knows a thing or two about that country and the German-Austrian connection. He is also a season one ranking the number one now with the earnings and the win. Huge one last week. You can see the totals there. A GG Million earning 1.87 of his 4.3 million earnings. Let's take a look at that hand from last week where he did get it done. And you can see Martin Finger and Binder were they're battling back and forth. And again, the Austrian flag there, pretty powerful. 1 and 2 taking this stage for this with ace queen versus eights. It came down to a classic flip. Big hands for heads up poker as ace queen did pair the queen on the flop and was able to hang on. And I'm pretty sure with that, the winning hand last week, we are going to get Fedor, who is joining us right now. I'm not sure if he can hear me yet or not. Fedor, are you in the booth? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
It's excellent. I was just singing the praises of you and your resume, and then also looking at this hand last week. Pretty straightforward, a flip. Heads up poker kind of played itself at that point. Two guys that I'm sure you know very well, both with the Austrian flag, and again, sort of a bit of confusion with German, Austria, that part of the world. Austria sort of a hub for poker players to go to. But how well do you know both of these players?
I mean, Martin I know for a very long time. He's an old school player, even before my time. So 15 years maybe. And Bernard, he's so Mr. Binder. He's a new upcomer on the block. He actually doesn't play poker for that long. I think he started 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow. Okay. So a rising star, kind of, yeah, we're in that nostalgic period with Finger before your time. Even I remember, again, battling on those first years of the high roller series. I was saying last week how I remember specifically a few times where 50Ks or he was in there and really gave trouble, right? He played a mixed brand. He was able to mix it up and be aggressive, but also knew how to kind of tone it in and finish out wins. So yeah, really exciting last week. Big purse we saw there, and we did see him ultimately, Binder, get the W. Big scores for all the players involved in that final table. And again, Fedor just joined us, but we looked at his profile, and today some of the guys, I think, Fedor, even you got to tip your cap to. Artur Mortarizian here, number one in titles. Going to get to see him today battle. 9.4 million in GG million earnings alone. That's just GG. I believe something like 40 million in actual earnings on the GG client. One of the best players in the world, live as well. How much have you played with Artur? And tell me a little bit about what his game is and how impressive this is to have more than the same amount really as title wise. You know, he's got, it's a crazy number, 11 titles, no one even close. We see 8 for Adamo, but everyone else kind of 6 or less. So kind of a wide gap with his ability to win on here. What makes him so special?
I mean, definitely what makes him special is his grind. I mean, the guy is just in the grind 24/7. So I think a big part is, of course, he's very aggressive. He's a good player, but I think he just definitely never skips a Sunday.
Yeah, it's a amount of reps is definitely something in his favor. He does seem to never miss. He's just kind of always playing live or online, finds a way to be in the events, and you can see the cashes. Even every category has a record tied there with Nicholas actually for final tables, but in terms of cashes and just impressive all around. We're going to see him as well as several other players that are top of the game that we get to see today. Really a treat to get to watch today. And I think, again, 17 titles, 95 million in GG earnings with this group of 9. Let's go ahead and look at the.
And that is a crazy. That is a crazy group.
Yeah, it is.
Look at
it is.
I mean, that is insane. Yeah.
it's a bit out of control. So today we get to see on the list some of the guys as well. We see some of those names, a lot of household names, a lot of guys that are playing live and online. They're having such success. We like to call the Champions League of Poker here in the GG Millions weekly. You get to see again the biggest buy-in, biggest names, and of course the biggest guests. We do want to again say a big thank you for Fedor joining us today, and hopefully going to have him more often on this show as well. So that is a look at the standings currently. I just want to remind everyone this is 2025, and Fedor, there are some changes to the GG Million where there will be 2 seasons. There's going to be kind of break at the World Series, and then going to the second season of 2025. Going to be some really large prizes for the audience. We're going to share more on that coming up, and as well kind of break down, the GG Million have set season for the results, get to see who's the top of the pecking order each season, which I think is cool to kind of break it up and have each season have a champion and kind of reward the results. So there's a look at where it stands right now. Binder obviously with that 1.8 million from winning the special edition one last week, and today though 1.85 million, 185 entrants, 376 going to first, 53k for 9. Healthy payouts, no deal making available, and you can see that heads up match is going to be about 82k for first. So a nice heads up match. We'll get to see everyone in top 3 getting nice score, top 6 100k or more. So let's go ahead and dive into the competition today, who we have, and get to see who you know. And that's a tough last name. I don't know if you know this player or not. We got the Brazilian flag rocking there, Zwitz. And any idea how he plays? You can see he did have a good run in the main event, 40th place in the 25k in the Bahamas just now. Any live experience with him or online?
Actually, I don't think I know this player. I mean, I've seen the name, but I don't think. Let me check. If I look at his face, if I maybe.
Yeah,
something comes up.
I think Alessandro or Allison.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So again, maybe a little bit newer in the GG Millions. He does have 26 appearances, 3 final tables, and I believe they made it go to a real name. If it's Hey Allison, if I'm not mistaken, Allison, the old date. I think that's why it threw me off too, because I know him as that. But there he is, and again, very talented player. 12 big blinds, gonna have his work cut out for him at this stack final table. But we'll see those GG the odds, the incline odds, probably gonna be one of the long shots, and someone who knows how to win could be a good bet at the 12 blinds at the bottom of the pack here. Definitely his highest finish, though, 6th on the GG Million. So he's going to look to improve on that. We'll go to our next player in 8th place today at the table, Igor Papik, who is at his second final table and has over 1.7 million in GG earnings. What about Papik, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, where he has from? Play with him live or no?
I don't think so. I just looked him up. I don't think I've played with him.
The young bucks out there, Fedor, how old are you now? What are you? I mean, is it weird to
31.
See 31, the up and comers in poker
yeah,
man, it's another guy that has been to his second final table, only 4 appearances, pretty impressive, cashing 50%. See if that's going to be a trend or maybe running well to start. But he has got 18 blinds and has an opportunity for a big payday today. So we'll get to know him better as well. I don't know him so well.
His appearances, how many 10Ks he has played?
That is for the GG Millions. That's correct. Like in this event. So he's also someone that, live, I don't have much info on him, but this is someone who's showing good form early on in his entrance here. And we'll see if we can get to know him better today, as he is with 18 blinds in our 8th position. Let's look at number 7 today, who we got and what's going on. We do have Mauricio Pai, who is also 3 appearances, and he is his first final table. He has gotten 41st, his highest finish. Someone, again, maybe a little bit more unknown. And again, Fedor, I feel like it's probably going to be like where you don't know and then you know everyone. What about Pai? Have you played with Mauricio?
I know him. I don't remember where I just played against him, but I've played against him recently, maybe in EPT or something.
Okay. Yeah, about 700K in live earnings. Does have some experience, was just at the Bahamas as well, had a couple cashes there, so in good form. And this is the problem now, these guys and girls come out of nowhere. People nowadays, you might not know someone, that doesn't mean they're not very experienced and good and been grinding. So we'll get to see if Mauricio can come from sort of the back of the pack and make a dent in the prize pool. Let's go to our next participant today. There he is, the guy we could spend the whole pregame show on, Artur Mortarizian. We talked about him at the beginning. 206. That is not rebuys. That is entries. That means he has played 4 years of this tournament on Sunday, over 50, just about that, right? 252, or I guess it's not even every week that GGMillion runs. So yeah, about 4 years of playing this tournament here, 44 final tables, 11 wins, 42 million in GG earnings, with
that is crazy.
9 million of those, almost 10 million of that being in the GGMillion in particular. He has 38 big blinds. How big a favorite? How much does experience come into play, though? He's not one of the biggest stacks, but where would you rate his ability and chances today with the experience, knowing this better than anyone in the world, this specific tournament?
I mean, yeah, he's definitely very experienced. Probably more experienced than anyone playing this tournament. Like, I'm not sure how many total entries he has. Probably more than 200, but nevertheless, pretty impressive.
Yeah, exactly. The stats a little bit hard to know some of that with the total profitability or whatnot, but we can definitely say he's done well, and you can see he's the number one.
Definitely a winner.
Definitely winning in the tournament. We see the chat in there. Want to say hello to everyone. Let us know where you're watching from. Hope you're enjoying. We will again play to a winner. This is a pregame show. We'll take a 5-minute break when that concludes, and then we will play. We'll see the seat shuffle, and then we'll go to the end there. So all right, again, we'll talk more about him during this final table. I don't want to spend too much time on him and you know the. Giving him his accolades, but yeah, obviously a very talented player, live as well, completely on fire. So all right, next let's go to Vasily Meshkov, who is got a W. He actually has taken it down on his second final table. Pretty impressive, Fedor. First time winner, first time playing. I mean, that's nice. That's hard to do too, to come in and just get it done when he gets there. 2.3 million. Any experience live with Meshkov?
I don't think so. I just tried to find something out, but no, I don't think I recognize him.
And let me ask you, as someone who, again, in these higher buy-in and smaller fields, you play with so many players so often that you just really know kind of tendencies, defend frequencies, 3-bet, all these things you kind of have embedded in your head and with your friends and your network and have a good idea. Do you almost in some ways prefer playing with a world-class player that you know so well versus a wild card who maybe is less experienced, but you just don't really have any info? How does that play into your strategy? And is that even almost tougher sometimes to play against a less experienced player that you just don't know what they're going to do?
No, I prefer newer players. It's just more fun, you know, more surprise. It's just more fun.
Okay, even in the sense that they probably know you, right? They're familiar. They've seen you on TV.
Yeah, but they might. But you know, maybe even though they know me, they generally don't really know that well how I play. So it's still quite helpful.
Got it. Okay, that's good to know. That makes a lot of sense. All right, you take the wild card unknown versus one of the other guys we're going to see. Like, yeah, one of these more experienced guys. Let's go to our next player. I think there's a few more names here that you guys may know as well. And there's a Katsu who is not got a win on 80 appearances. Has cashed a fair amount, has a fair amount of final tables. Again, can be a little deceiving, maybe some second, thirds, and big scores, but not got the win. Tell me about his game and what he brings to the table.
I mean, he's a very strong player. So, also not really up and coming, you know, like it's not a super new guy, but definitely one of the guys that became pretty strong in the last few years. Yeah,
a name we've seen more of, and again, 9 final tables, trying to get the win, hard to win, never easy, never guaranteed. Yeah. And there's an example of that. See if he can tick it off the box of that win column. He has gotten second though, so some good scores, and you can see very experienced on GG alone, 7.8 million and 1.4 coming in this particular tournament. So let's go to our next player. We're getting close to the top 3 where we get to see a hand from all of them. This guy, Adrian Mateos, another one I know you just battle with more than almost anybody. He's there every big buy-in, every high stakes, won crazy amount of World Series bracelets for his age, young gun right there, and he did just take 11th in the 500K. All-time money list. Going to be hard to be ahead of you, but he has done that. 8 on the list with over 4. You have 48 million, so that means he's in the, I think he's just north of 50, but I've got to double check that, and you can see 18 million on GG.
52.
52, yeah. Someone you're chasing there, and that's a guy that is just, again, he just sort of has it. It's just something that you don't enjoy seeing him at the table because you know he's not going to give much away. He has 3 wins here, 18 final tables, a lot of appearances, a lot of experience. Adrian Mateos, I mean, again, you play with him a lot. Just kind of tell me what are one of the things he does so well, and how is he able to establish himself as one of the greats in the game?
I mean, it's just, I think he brings a lot of different things, but he's just an incredible poker player all around. You know, very competitive. He's just in there all the time, which I personally see as a very important trait. You know, like when we play live poker, I play live poker with him for 10 years now, 11, 12 years. So just every time, you know, there's never a day where he's just kind of chilling or like not fighting. And I think that really differentiates the best from the rest.
Yep. Someone we, again, seen a ton on, also got to know him better on my podcast. Great guy. Just someone you just root for. Hard not to. Just nothing negative to say about him. I've never heard a negative word. So we are also going to get to see a hand from Adrian. Let's take a look at, again, top three. We'll get to see a hand, and hello, aces in the big blind. Nice spot there. Looks like the stacks at 35.70. You're probably on the final table bubble. 2 or 3 tables left, probably 2, it looks like, with these stacks. 1.9 million there. He has got the red rockets in the big blind. This is, again, you could say, oh, this is easy to play, but there's different ways to play. Do you trap? What are the sizing? 3 bets pre? How do you play? This is something that, again, it's always interesting to see players, how they play with their best hands and their semi-bluffs. And here we are going to see hand rank 1 with Adrian in the big blind here, as we'll see what does take place. But good starting hand. Good spot, as he is certainly playing here in the big blind. As I like, we get to see the tempo, the time bank there. Maybe they're waiting 2 tables, trying to make it to the final table. Delay. It could be hand for hand though at this point at the stage of the tournament. And we are seeing a min raise. And tell me, Fedor, what do you like here? Is it pretty straightforward just to raise it up, or is this a good stack depth to even consider trapping?
I mean, it is the open raiser should have open jams, so you start to look at a more polarized range. You can definitely consider just calling here, and I think it's the main play. So yeah, you basically call a lot pre-flop with aces here in these type of spots. When the more polarized, the more you want to call, unless you have some type of read that the player maybe is just quite tight, doesn't really have that bottom raise folding range. Then you go all in and just get it in against his rather strong range. But then here, interesting flop where against half pot, it's close. You can call, you can raise. I'm curious what Adrian is doing. I think call is the correct play, but against half pot it's also viable to raise. And yeah, turn is pretty straightforward. After you check call, you always check, and then river can become interesting if he checks back. Well, yeah, that's the snap call.
Nice. Nicely played. Got his opponent down to 5 outs, 1 to come. You can see the percentage there, 11% to fade, and nice set hand as he does go ahead and pick up the pot, and that is going to be good enough to put him in the third. That may have even been I'm just trying to see if that's his stack, if it was kind of put us to the final table. I think it was just maybe 1 more away, because he had 2.7 and that was 2.9. So yeah, probably 1 off there at the time. He is, again, in 3rd place today, and someone that just is impressive all around. All right, let's go to our next player in 2nd place today. Come to Brazil, my man Aziz. That's not actually Aziz. That is who took 2nd in the Bahamas. That picture, at least Marcelo Aziz, who was a guest on the show just a few weeks ago. And it's funny because the week after he won, this guy actually won the tournament. And I think it was when he was the guest, a matter of fact. Marcelo was the guest, and this guy, Come to Brazil, won the tournament as him with the guest on the show, which was kind of crazy. And he does have 10 appearances, a win. And this is not Jeff's favorite. It's put on there. Yeah, he's a satellite winner as well on here, and just trying to get another huge win. And he is in a good position, building chip stacks when he's deep. So obviously, doing
it's
something
Santiago
right.
Plante, I think.
That sounds right. Sounds right. He is using that is a real name, but Come to Brazil. Let's take a look at this hand from him to see what he did to put himself in 2nd. An interesting 15-30, a little earlier, but he is short stacked here. Jack 9 suited. Again, a big blind hand. Fedor, tell me what we're doing here.
I mean, I'm curious now what happens that we double here, but I guess
Min raise? and then
Yeah, button might min raise. Against that we would defend. Against small blind, I mean against limp, again, very quick. That's interesting. That's definitely something I would note. It's kind of a snap limp. I mean, I check back here basically all the time. Again, it's a bit of a polarized range, right? Like, it's not the typical 30-40 BB limping, because here small blind should have quite some open shoves. I don't know exactly now stage of the tournament, but I guess it's like 3 tables left, like 18 left or something like this. Given the amount of chips. So yeah, we check back here in the big blind. I think that is fine. And then against a 1BB bet here, I think we always just call. There's no real sense in raising, right? We look at this polarized range where Mauricio now either has strong hands, aka traps, or he has weak hands, you know, like could be 3-5, 4-5, anything like that. Could be just a random 9-5 offsuit. Could be ace-x suited too. The thing though, generally I'd say here is that people are weighted towards bluffs, I'd say. So I'm pretty happy to call down in this particular spot. I mean, with this hand that we're having, we're never folding turn anyway against the sizing. But yeah, if he shoves river, we always call. And I think it's also one of those spots when he limps snap free. There's just not that many ace-x that you limp pre-flop there and then snap. Yeah, I think his value range is rather thin. What is interesting though is that you can probably go, you should probably value shove Jack-X as well. Like those are spots where people are not thin enough sometimes, you know, where if you have King Jack, or I mean now the board paired, but if you have King Jack or Queen Jack suited, that you limped out of the small blind. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting ends up chopping. And as you mentioned, a lot of, yeah, good to talk through, think about ranges, what's happening, what likelihood they have an ace or not. And then the day that was a chop, kept him in, and then obviously got going because he was pretty short at this point, sort of deep looking at some of the other stacks around, big stacks, and got on a heater here. All right. Well, that's a look at that. Nothing, didn't double there, but didn't go out. And we'll see if he can put another magical run here today. And there he is, Ben Raleigh, someone, you know, Ben CB is the 4-time guest on the show. Done a ton of work with him, ton of content. I know you guys have done a lot of stuff over the years. You've known him probably as well as anyone in poker, been there. I remember you guys playing the 100Ks online at some of the biggest events and having great success early on when those high rollers were coming. And I mean, 10 million in GG earnings. He has only won once, actually, a lot of final tables, some close calls, and has done well here. He has got himself a good opportunity. Of course, Ben from Raise Your Edge, the program, also does stream on Twitch and does a lot of content in poker. So tell me about Ben before we look at his hand here again. How well have you known him, and tell me what he does so well?
Yeah, I mean, I know Ben for 12 years now, I think, 11 years. And we started climbing the ranks and playing high stakes kind of at the same time. And yeah, he's a great player, pretty smart poker player, and always been mostly separating himself through his hard work. And yeah, I'm not sure how much he's doing nowadays. I think he's more focused on the business side of things, but probably still a fierce competitor, as I can imagine.
For sure.
And yeah, know him for a long time.
Awesome. Well, let's see the hand for today. Again, I could talk a lot about Ben. We'll have a long show to do that. He has got the chip lead, and he had quite a ride actually as I think chip leader from, or second or first from maybe a month ago, where he was chip leader and almost out 8th on a coin flip, and then ended up getting, I think, second. So, you know, again, he mixes it up, not afraid to go for it. We see King Queen here in the cutoff 5-handed, going to go ahead and open it up for a min raise. Couple known players here as he is with a big stack already at the table, actually covered on his left there. But again, King Queen straightforward, going to open it up, see how this plays out. All right, against the big blind, flops the nut gutter, ace 10, King Queen high. bet.
Now this can get interesting.
Yep, this again, big stacks here. Goes for a small bet and gets check raised. What do you feel here? Snap call. That looks like in real time how they.
Yeah, I mean, you always continue to sand. I'd say Gleb definitely someone who's not afraid. Now, against the step now on the river, I could see Ben going all in on the river. That might make it a highlight hand.
Wow, going all in, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like. I mean, it's definitely a reasonable hand to do it with. Like, you want to have something like Queen Jack or King Queen. Sorry, just rang the bell. I just have to pick it up 1 second.
Yep. So interesting, Fedor. I think most of us at home, including myself, would just think this could be a good spot to call. You actually do have now the queen with the king kicker, but also, you know, it's an interesting one. This is in the tank, and maybe he is going to go for it. Let's see what happens here as he is in the tank and does just call. Okay, king queen. So interesting to hear, I guess, you know, Fedor's thoughts on that. I do want to get the make sure we have time to look at the betting odds, which is in client for today. We can see that if you are able to have GG for real money in your jurisdiction, you can go see, and that is actually, you could wager on this and put a bet down and get those specific odds on if your player were to win. That is, again, odds to win, and Ben CB a pretty huge favorite with the just over 4-1 favorite. Again, it's based a lot on chip stack, also ability, some other factors in there, but you can see the long shot 29, almost 30-1, as Fedor and I will do a quick auction for that with 3 spots. You guys can practice at home and make a guess yourself what you think you would do. Maybe, let's say you have 100 units, break it up, see if you could draw a profit out of that. We're going to pick 3 each, as Fedor is going to be back here in a second. I'll let him pick first. And yeah, kind of seeing who I want to do for my selection. And again, a lot of big names today. This is a treat. Going to be a lot of fun, as always. Fedor, always great to have on here. And we are going to see. Appreciate everyone being here. Let us know where you're watching from in the world. I am in Miami. Fedor, I believe, is back home. Just got home over in Europe. And I'm just, every week, I feel like it just seems like it's all, I think out of 100 plus, 150 shows done probably, there's never been a time where I'm like, oh, this looks boring, or this I don't know anyone here, or this should be whatever. Every week just seems to have the kick and flavor to it, and this one is no different. And whenever we have Arthur here, always nice. Ben, Adrian Mateos, I mean, those guys alone, some other of the biggest guys too. Hey, Allison, short stack, come to Brazil on a heater. Just a fun mix of known pros, known crushers, and then also some new guys. But we are going to, there he is, Fedor is back, and we are going to be finishing out the pregame show here after. I was just telling him, Fedor, we're going to finish the pregame show here in a moment, but this is the in-game client betting odds. We'll each select 3. We'll put a dinner on it. If you're up for that, nice dinner. We'll wager. We each select 3. You have 100 units, and you can break that 100 over 3 picks. I'll let you pick first. So your first pick.
With those odds, or us against each other?
With those odds. I mean, in theory, it doesn't matter, right? Because you technically want to have the favorites, right? Because it's me or you, just who wins. It's not, it's 100 play units that we're just experimenting with, but just to see how profitable you could be as well. But ultimately, you want to pick the winner. That's your goal.
Okay. I take 50 units of Adrian Mateos, please.
All right, I'll take 50 on Ben. Take the chip leader, Ben CB. Your pick. You got 2 left.
Okay, then I take 30 on Matirosian.
Okay, you're going down a little bit there. I got to go come to Brazil, my man. I'm going chalk. Well, I'm trying to get a nice dinner from Fedor and also Brazil. I love Brazil. Boa sorte. We'll go 30 on my man there. Come to Brazil. And now your last pick.
Then I take 20 on Maurizio.
20 on Mauricio. Okay, listen, you've been a sport. I'll take my last 20 on Hey Allison, another Brazilian down there. I want to hit that big, about 30-1 odds. I'll give you a little bit of a loose action on that. So that's our 3 picks. Again, good luck to everyone. Boa sorte, all the Brazilians out there. Austria and Brazil represented again at this final table, almost guaranteed weekly. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Can't wait for this final table. We'll see the seat shuffle selection and we'll dive into it. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few. All right, welcome back from that short break. Hope you enjoyed the pregame show. Fedor Holz joins myself, Jeff Gross. We are going to have a special day for you today as we will see a winner. We'll see a new potential champion. Also could be a repeat, even a possible 12-time champion Arthur that is available. So we are going to go and get right into it. We're going to get to see the seats selection today. We're going to get to talk about, again, what is at stake. It is the seat selection. Fedor, I love asking guests about this. You've obviously played in this tournament. You've also live. This has been a thing where the ascending, it goes with the shortest stack to the biggest for seat selection. Is there any real things you think about here as one of the shorter stacks, or is it just kind of go to the left of the big one at the end?
I mean, there's definitely some strategy, right? Because it's not necessarily everyone's just switching with the same position. Like some people want one position, and sometimes it's smart to think about where probably the big stacks are going to switch, because as the shorter stack, you have to switch first, right?
Yep.
So yeah, there's definitely some strategy.
As we are seeing that happen right now, some of the bigger stacks here, there's 2 million for Vasily. He is going to go ahead and make his selection now. We're going to get to see the expire. Didn't sometimes, maybe just expires, how they just don't want to change, but that was no movement there as Katsu does go ahead and take the left. The button is in place though. That's also something where it is set. And if you're super short, maybe you can try to position that again. You can't really, you at the end of the day don't get to have much say as a short stack. But here we go. Come to Brazil in second. He is going to anticipate what Ben might do. He's going to go over there. And now Ben with the decision, does he just kind of go to the left or maybe the left to Arthur? And he is ultimately going to go for a left of Katsu and Mateo. So again, whatever, not a obvious choice there. There was a few options. He does decide to take it for the left of Katsu and double left of Mateos to the left there. So, all right, that's it. There is a game clock kind of breakdown of what you get to do, as we don't go to automatically 15 minutes a player. The chess clock, every player with the time make, if they hit 0, that will then go to 5 seconds per decision. We do see that happen once in a while. All right, we're underway. First hand, and Come to Brazil coming out with the ace-8 off. And he looks like going to have success with that. Or a modest open there. How light do you expect him to open there with his stack in that position?
I mean, it depends if Ben is behind or not, right? But not too tight, not too loose. Like just a reasonable range. Nothing. You're not gonna see crazy opens there, I think.
Yep, and there's Igor, who is going to come in with the ace-9 suited, going at Ben's big blind. They happen to have the same hands. And Ben will elect to call. Both players going to hit that ace with a 9 kicker. So as played, chance that get to showdown.
Very
here.
likely to chop.
Yeah. Yeah. No player with the club. 10 on the turn. Board pretty wet now. Pretty dynamic. Lot going on here.
Yeah, especially he's gonna open tight. So very good board for him, right? Like king queen, ace-7 plus, 10s, jacks, jack 10 suited. Like even a lot of the medium strong hands are kind of strong hands. So like ace-9 is really not that great of a hand to have here. You kind of have to, I mean, this is basically a bluff catcher already, right? Because like betting worse for value, like if you have ace-5, you're not really gonna bet that for value here, kind of. I mean, you could, but it's already on the fringe, so it's like you continue, but it's not loving it.
On the with that river, then is there a world where Igor decides to shove for value there, or just to maybe even get a hand similar like that off, or is that just pretty much standard check back at that point? Do you think Ben's checking back any 2 pairs there, or anything that's stronger?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely much like he snapped. It's definitely much thinner than that, I think. But yeah, I think, I mean, Ben should definitely consider folding ahead like ace-4 on the turn. So it's like when you then think about what's left on river, then it's not really a spot probably you're gonna hero call a lot. So yeah, it's reasonable to just get it to showdown if you don't really think you're getting called by much worse. So definitely fair to check back on river and just try to win.
All right. Well, that is a no blood hand. 3.9 million. I'll bend on the button. Ace 8 off. Cats who going to open. King deuce off. Come to Brazil. Has a decision here. He is going to take that big and little gap and make a aggressive move, a little glimpse into his game. Certainly not a hand everyone's going to play that way. Well, I like the aggression and the hand selection. Also versus a late position big stack there, showing us he's not afraid early. Going to assert himself with a light 3-bet.
Yeah, I mean, it's so because Alex can't really open that wide because he has Ben to his left, so becomes a little bit less nice there when you do it against a tighter opening range. And I also don't think he's necessarily going to be afraid to defend against that 3-bet. So yeah, I'm not loving it. I think it is fine, but it's probably a spot he would overdo in this particular scenario.
Yep, good analysis there. You can see the stats lower left sort of showing you from Sunday how their stats are. That's not lifetime on GG. That is from this tournament on Sunday. And come to Brazil, playing pretty snug stats there. VPIP 15, PFR 12, yeah. 3-bet though 7, maybe a little bit higher than most. So interesting look into his game and sort of how he has been playing and been effective. It's actually surprising with those stats to be like one of the chip leaders and then he shows us a king deuce off 3-bet, right? Like, which is kind of out there. So it's definitely shows he's got capability and range and not just playing ABC poker.
For sure. No, I think I'm curious to see. Okay. I feel like that step doesn't really accomplish much. I mean, you're value betting kind of, but I mean, Arthur still has a pretty tight range. You're gonna get called by better and fold out worse. It's like so I think that bet, but yeah.
Listen, Fedor, he's on a mission. He's in there. He's showing us a wide range of ability, and he's coming in attacking with 3.1 now and opening the Jack 8 suited. Arthur with a pretty modest holding there. Jack 4 off in the big blind.
I think that's just a fold.
Yeah, nothing too much to think about. Does get rid of it there. Come to Brazil, fast start early, but does get a few hands through that are light and is off and running. Ben now with ace. I'm sorry, 9-10 suited, going to run into Mauricio's ace king. So this is again one of those ones, just kind of rhythm, tempo, timing. 9-10 suited, nice hand to play as chip leader, but you're going to get resistance here from Mauricio with the real hand, going to make it 3x. Tell me about the sizing, what to consider. You see some players now often making smaller 3-bets in position, but here he's covered by the big stack. ICM is really big, and why go 3x versus less there?
I think very generically you can think a bit about, first of all, one of the first questions you can ask yourself is, okay, how bad is it to get it in against each other? Right, so normally, for example, for one guy, it's slightly less worse. So in this case, for example, it's much worse for Mauricio to get it in than it is for Ben. That's like one thing to think about. And that correlates with how is the open raising range looking like. Because if it's a scenario where Ben, for example, opens a lot of hands because, for example, there's 2-3 short stacks, such as in this scenario, and he has a wider range, then against this wider range, Mauricio should play tight, but he doesn't have to play like a super large sizing, because Ben will have a lot of hands still that are quite weak that he can't continue. So it will lead to having a sizing that's large because you don't necessarily want to incentivize a call, but also you're not gonna go for like 5x, which sometimes happens if you're in some scenarios where you have to be quite polarized in certain hands. Like, for example, you have, ace king in your range that you want to 3-bet, but you want to disincentivize calls. You might go for a pretty large sizing. So it's like stack depth, open raising ranges, and then kind of constellations of chip stacks on the table play a big role in spots like this. So it's hard to give a general answer, but kind of these factors then decide. And normally when it's the other way around, so when it's like big stack against short stack, then you will see some of these smaller sizings. you know, when it's like maybe 2.5x in position, because you kind of just want to punish the guy because he's less inclined to defend against the 3-bet, and you get the best possible price. You can punish him the most possible. So that's kind of the general idea in these spots.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Great breakdown there from Fedor, taking us to the next level of the game. Again, you can take a look at his resume, over about 48 million in lifetime earnings. Pretty crazy. What's your plans coming up, Fedor, for live poker? Tritons, WSOP? What's sort of have you gotten that far yet? Or are you day to day?
52 million is the plan. I'm going to Jeju for Triton, and hopefully get my 5th Triton trophy. So that's the plan. And we're gonna see an all-in here, I think, with queens against ace-king. Very standard. Come to Brazil, we'll get out of the way. And maybe we see the first elimination.
All right, queens to ace king. Yeah, pretty classic flip there. It is up in the air. Diamonds are good if a runner, if Igor can get that. There is part of that equation. 2-1 favorite, roughly, from Mauricio to the river. Needs some blue, ace or king, and it is going to be a red middling. That's a 3 across, and that is going to be all she wrote. That is a GG out there. The GG, Greg goes all in GGs all across the board as we are down to 8. So fairly fast start. I mean, what, 20 minutes in, or 15 minutes in, we've seen a knockout now. Got to get that first slip. Hey, Allison, very short, was 30-1 odds to win, and going to need to get something going here as the blinds now up. He has 9 big blinds. Ace-8, Mateos going to raise on the button. Some interesting hands in the small blind, big blind. 6-7 suited versus Ace-8 definitely has some potential to be interesting as a 6-7.
Not anymore.
Whiffs. Yeah, Ace-8. Pretty ramp.
Not even a backdoor flush draw. Otherwise, you know, Ben might get some ideas.
Yep, he is going to come in for a bet, and that'll end that soiree there. We did see Ben 3-bet the ace-3 suited. Fedor was mid-thought there, where Adrian opened ace-king suited. He 3-bet ace-3 suited and looked like was thinking about 5-betting potentially, but just thought better against it. Wouldn't have worked, as Mateos up to 3.1. And again, Ben has a chip lead, but this is some pretty big stacks, pretty even today, Fedor. We got 3 million, 3.1, 3.3, 3.1, and then one short stack and a couple healthy ones. So a lot of play today, and it's wide open as who is able to get this done. Definitely too close to call right now. And Come to Brazil going to release the queen 10 of clubs, as he does. It is a stack final table. Christian noting that. I also did put out a link on the chat. If you guys want to enter $50 cash, we will have a $50 and $100 GG ticket later in the show. Must be subscribed, must hit the thumbs up. But if you want cash that is anywhere in the world eligible, you can go to my Twitter, hit retweet, and guess who you think is going to win, Fedor. You're up for that $50 too if you want to be eligible for that. You never know. 50 can go a long way. We saw Zeus Marcelo took down a free roll to 4.6 million in December from GG. So you never know what 50 or 100 could do out there. But good luck to everyone watching, and hope you're having fun. And again, let us know where in the world you are watching from. Over 2,000 on right now, Fedor. Man, you brought some heat today. You brought some heat. Where were you traveling? You were on a little trip. I was
on a trip. I did a mistake with the time zone. I didn't think that there was time difference, but I was in Tallinn actually for Bombay.
Nice. Oh, nice.
And there's a 1-hour time difference that I didn't think about.
How is that?
But
I know.
Now I'm here.
I got invited to that opening for that tournament there. Did you play that one as well in Estonia? How far is that from you? Not too far a flight, right?
It's 2-hour flight. It's actually really nice. I really like Tallinn. The location is incredible. The people are very nice. It's just all around really good experience. And we're gonna have the next all-in.
Yep, and here we go. Hey, Allison needs to get a chop or some hearts or a wheel, some definite potential. Not a great board there for him, but hey, why not a little sweat? Needs now a jack king on the river, else we're gonna see a done. Look at that. Hey, my 30-1. I'm liking that. I gave you a little action. And now he's gonna bink. He's gonna bink on Ben. 2 of my guys had chips though. Hey, Allison up to 990. So in the game in a big way, almost 20 blinds actually.
Who did I have? I had Adrian, Maurizio, and who was my third one? Was it Arthur?
Peter, if you can't remember your picks, I can't give it to you if they win. You got to at least keep track of your stuff. But yeah, no, I think you had Artur, you had Mateos
Adrian and
for
Maurizio.
sure. And Marie, yeah, okay, that's right. We'll count it.
Those
We'll
are my
count that.
boys.
Yes,
Oh,
we're
what a team! What a team, man! You're drawing dead. There's no
you,
chance you beat my team there.
you want to put more on it? We can bump
I
the
mean,
stakes. We have a dinner right now. We can put dessert or a +1 if you want your significant other. We can do a 4-person dinner, whatever you want. We can
yeah,
keep raising it. It's like
I'm not
backgammon.
gonna say no to free food,
I
man.
can keep passing. We can keep passing the cube. You wanna raid until someone doesn't accept. We can keep going. I'm open to action. I don't mind a little gamble. We got some people in Estonia in the building. Palestine is there. We got people all over the place. We really do have an international crew here. 2,100 on right now. Appreciate everyone tuning in and hope you're enjoying it. A new season. Be ready for big giveaways. I want to say it. I know it's almost finalized what we're doing, but I can guarantee you the audience, it's going to be a completely different thing where you're actually going to be really have some huge giveaway stuff that I'm excited even to tell about. I'm waiting for the team to give the green light, but I know we're going to have 2 seasons ending around the World Series, and then we'll have giveaways for the first season and the second of 2025, kind of timing with the Bahamas and the WSOP at the World Series, which schedule just announced, Fedor, 100 events. Tell me what you think. Are you going to be out there for some, all, or just the high rollers, or what's your deal?
I just checked the schedule. It's always a bit difficult because now I'm in the age where all my friends are getting married, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, of course, they pick the summer. So it's basically I'm on marriages on weddings from like May to August, and you know, I have to choose my friends now. So it's like I will probably, I think I have one on the 8th of June, so I might come after,
Okay.
and then maybe the main event. Like I'm not 100% sure yet.
Yeah, but if you're in any of those weddings or best man, they know not to mess with your WSOP. That's the thing, right? That's they can go September, they can go late May, or July 15th plus. So yeah, no, it is true. You're in that wedding season, a little older. I'm in the baby shower season, but you're in the married time. I know that
It is all
period.
right.
Sure. Yeah.
It's all right. This is an interesting spot. King Queen against tens. I'm curious what Alex is doing with tens. You can defend. You can potentially 3-bet against Alex. Cutoff open. I probably prefer 3-bet and stack it off. It's not not amazing, but I think tens is good enough against his cutoff opening range there. But now this is a nice spot. I think we want to check raise here quite often. Okay, he decides to go for a call. It's reasonable against Alex. Like Arthur, he barrels quite a lot on these type of runouts. I think King Queen is close. I mean, theoretically, it's probably too strong of a hand given of what you're opening. You want to have something like Jack 9 suited rather to bet here, or the Queen Jack off. But he goes for it with King Queen off, so he's probably overdoing this turn bet. Alex definitely not going anywhere, which kind of proves the point of him calling flop to get that. And I mean, that is the cleanest possible run out. And I think Arthur should he should give up here.
Yeah, unless he tries to talk himself off getting ace high, trying to blow off ace high or something. I mean, he unblocks spades. I don't know how relevant in this particular run out and how it works out here, but he's kind of in a weird, exactly, with no man's land where he's sort of in the middle. Oh, wow. I mean, snap call, catch you. That was beautiful. That was Johnny Chan, Eric Seidel-esque. He just kind of, it was like a trap, but not the nuts. Does lose to some hands, and his mind had the nuts. He did it fast, and Arthur going to go out there, the #1 all-time GGMillion earner. Everything, every category is out. Won't get another title today, but does get some more money on his resume, and that is a nicely played hand by Katsu. I mean, Fedor, snap call too, right? I guess he has his mind made up the whole way.
I mean, you basically only beat by like 3x and jacks plus, right? It's like there's not really anything besides that beats you, and against someone where I think that's a bit the problem, right? In these type of spots, I think you got to be really sensitive where it's very easy to bet too much there, or if you bet everything, right? If you bet king queen off, you bet like king jack off, queen jack off, Then you have Jack 9 suited, 10 9 suited, Jack 10 suited, Queen 10 suited. You know, there's lots of stuff that then mixes in, and then suddenly you have 2/3 of the time you have a bluff. And then obviously Alex, I think, is aware of the dynamic that Arthur is not shy to bet 2 overs there, and decided to trap tens, which turned out to be a great decision to not check raise it on flop. And yeah, so it all worked out really nicely for him. And
Well,
now he's
this
in
is
the next spot.
yeah. This could be. He's potentially. Yeah, he's in the zone right now. He's feeling it. Ben though flopped a set blind on blind. What a huge flop! 10-8-5
Yeah.
and 2 diamonds. Turn 7 brings a backdoor flush draw. Some straights possible now. It is blind on blind, so things are working. And Katsu though has a key card, although I mean, kind of a tricky one, right? Because like you're drawing to a straight that you don't get the pure nut on a lot of cards, even with the diamond, the club, and then even hitting the open end. It's a weird one, but you can see he sees the flush draws and he's thinking right now he might step into it here.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the fold here. I was about to say, I think, this is a spot where, I mean, Ben is definitely not a shy guy. He can find bluffs in that spot, but I think this is generally an under-bluffed spot. And it feels a lot like turn 2 pair plus, or generally 2 pair plus. So yeah, I think very, very good find to just fold turn here against the raise.
Well,
I mean, the pace is high, man. There's a hand after hand after hand, so this is not getting boring.
no, we've got a absolutely epic show today. We did lose Arthur. We still have some of the biggest names in poker here. And we do have Fedor here, and we do have 2,400 watching. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for the thumbs up, the subscriptions. That is going to be part of the giveaway today. Must be doing those two things to get the $50 and then $100. There will be 2 separate giveaway tickets, and then the tweet Jeff Gross Poker. I have 50 cash for you guys. We'll announce that as well. Last week we've been doing that every week. It's fun. So $200 in giveaways today. 150 those being GG tickets, and we will see who is going to be our champion today. Fast action to start. No one short all of a sudden. Hey, Allison, with that million, and that's the shortest. So pretty healthy stacks here. A lot of 3 million stacks, and then we have 1 million and 2 million. So pretty wide open play as it stands. King 4 going to be good there. Ben up to 3.8. Blinds are up 30K, 60K. Upper left of your screen, you can see in 20 hands. So every 20 hands, blind level goes up. Does also show you the next payout. Also lower left shows you what place players have gone out in the payout ladder as aces and queens. And hey, Allison, wow, he's going to need some luck here. This is
Your guy needs help.
Needs a ton of help. He is going to 3-bet this one for value, but he is against one of the better
This is
hands.
where you see the small sizing of a short stack. So now he's the shortest stack, and if you want to have some 3-bet bluffs here, then you need to choose the sizing where you can still raise and fold. So so now this is when you see the smaller sizings, and Vasily just decides to go for
just
the
rips it
jam
in.
with
Maybe
the
even
aces.
looks lighter. Going to get queens on there as we see a possible gets a straight opportunity, and backdoor flush won't be possible at the turn. Needs a jack or queen, some paint, or we will see another elimination, and that is not paint. That is a slow peel on the way out there for Hey Allison. Almost got the miracle spin up. Was a long shot though. Got a couple of ladders, which he's got to be happy about. Did get a double early with got there ace-3 to ace. I believe it was ace-3 to ace-king, and then he did not win queens to aces. So again, short stack, you got a lot to overcome. Got to run good. Got to get lucky and then avoid coolers. When you have a big stack, you can afford a couple coolers or flips. And I'll tell you what, though, this is big stack poker here, Fedor. No one here short. We got 2.5 million to 3.5 million 6-handed. This is about as even as it gets. And we should see some very interesting play, a little deeper stack than normal at this juncture and across the board. So pretty straight up poker here. A lot to play for in anyone's game.
Anyone's game.
Yeah, this is What do you think? Just looking at this right now, 3.7 down to 2.5 in this particular moment. Give me kind of a percentage, just a rough, like don't not per player, but out of the 6 players, like what's the largest favorite could be, and what's the biggest underdog in terms of out of 100 times, like a percentage? Do you think that someone wins? It's pretty even, right? I mean, it's just really close.
I mean, very, very close. Like if it's 6 players, we're looking at, a bit over 16% for it being, if it's, an even split. And yeah, there's probably someone, the biggest stack like Ben probably is, maybe a bit over 20% to win. And the smallest stack, I don't know, a bit under 15. So like you'll have very close win percentages here. But obviously my man Adrian is gonna take it down. And we see the double barrel here, I think, with the a6 off, which is a reasonable hand candidate, and got the 3 to fold.
Yeah, this has been exciting. Ace 4 suited, ace 5 suited, 2 of those wheel aces, both with potential for aggression, and Vasily there in the small blind, 6-handed poker, ace 5 suited, certainly taking time bank. We know what that means. He might be loading up a nice size 3-bet here.
Yeah, he should. I think this can often go 3-bet, 4-bet, 5-bet shove. Well, folding here that's pretty very passive.
I'm on the snug side, Fedor, but I'm cocking that up. I'm gonna load up a nice 3-bet there, diaper money or not. I'll put that one. I know that one's in my upstairs category, but yeah. Hey, listen, you don't need to take every spot, right? It could be whatever. You don't have to automatically.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be every spot. It just has to be this spot,
Okay, Fedor's he's demanding a 3-bet there. But
I demand,
yeah, that was all right. So you note that was worth noting that he doesn't take that.
Yeah, that's massive. Yeah, if I'm watching, that's very, very important to know that it's like a very, very clear 3-bet. Would have been interesting to see what Alex does if he has played with Vasily before. If he maybe thinks, he 3-bets too tight there. If he goes for a 4-bet. And then if the 4-bet happens, I mean, we know there's no 5-bet, but other players, I think you very often will see 3-bet, 5-bet there with ace-5 suited. Ben with the A. There's lots of aces on this tournament so far.
We saw maybe 2 months ago now, roughly, we saw one player with 4 aces and one final table, and there was like 9 or 10. I think it might even have been 12. Someone could maybe correct that, but it was at least 9 aces at the final table with 4 going to one player. It's pretty gnarly. But there is another aces getting handed out, as we started out with aces early in the show. And here we go. 6-10 suited, 6-10 off. Come to Brazil, going to let that go. Yeah, so started out fast, but this has the potential to slow down a bit, right? With ICM and deeper stacks, and especially if we're not seeing the ace-5 3-bet on opens, who knows? But this is, again, so far so fast. This has been one of the quicker starts, as we are roughly 30 minutes in and we've lost 3 players.
Curious to see what Come to Brazil does with the Jack-10 suited, if he goes for a 3-bet or a flat call. Flat is fine. Definitely the lower variance play. I mean, now Vasily must be thinking about a squeeze, because call should not really be an option, I think. Well, this is interesting from Maurizio with the ace-queen off, I probably flat call here, actually.
kind of crazy, right? That he goes for this big blind squeeze,
the
but
big blind
passes
special.
ace five suited. So I mean, now this is kind of the fun part of poker. Anyone can make a kind of wildish squeeze. You now get in the streets and you're in there. Okay, I got called. You're expecting to just kind of take it down or get played back on. When you get flatted, now you're out of position with a really weak hand. You actually get a decent board here, flopping a gut shot and the king and four both live. Plus, against this particular hand, you do have a chance to just get it done. But yeah, this is we're in the streets here now for a big pot, 1.2 in the middle.
Yeah, I think he should go for the largest possible sizing and still leave some turn play, so probably go for like half pot. I don't really like that small sizing. I think in this particular spot, you don't really want to play three streets necessarily. I think, you know, you kind of, in this spot, I think you kind of want to say, okay, you know, I have tens plus. And I mean, you shouldn't really go for, you know, like anything too wide here. So your value range is like tens plus ace king, basically. And then on that flop, I think you just want to play around that tens plus part, and you obviously your bluffs are like ace x and king x, you know, like some low suited kings, maybe an offsuit king. I think his sizing was a bit too small, to be honest. So I think he went a bit too small pre-flop. But then with these type of hands, you go for a polarized approach that goes towards all in and probably on two streets, not on three. So I don't. I think he sized a bit too small, but now on the turn, I think he just has to continue going against two overs, and now I think here the sizing is reasonable, and it worked.
Wow. Wow, great hand. I mean, again, just so all right, tell me from that particular standpoint, when you're observing, you know, you make notes, and obviously at the top of the game, you make detailed notes on players, on things. So when he passes up like an ace five suited kind of mandatory three bet spot, then he takes a squeeze with king four off. How would you kind of note that, where it's like, okay, he's passive in some more passive in the spot than you like, but also taking and following through on a hand like that. So it seems like a little bit of a, you know, not straightforward how you would kind of mark that down in your history. How would you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, basically like that, right? He probably, I mean, generally, right? Like these spots, they're not unknown. These big blind squeeze spots against late position. It's just more of a hot spot. Like the small blind against early position, six-handed, that's just not really a population hotspot, because the open raiser already has to play a tighter range, right? It's like your early position, you don't open that many hands, so it's a bit easier to not overfold or like not be too out of line. So I think what I would think of this type of player is that he's more thinking of where people potentially make more mistakes, right? So there's probably more mistakes to be made to overfold opening the button, and it's probably more of an under-defended spot, like this button open small blind defend, and so he probably wants to go after that spot. Whereas the king four off, it's an all right hand selection. It's like you probably want to have mostly ace x in that spot, but it's an all right hand, so it's not like he took something crazy in that spot and then, you know, left out a super clear spot before. He should have probably the spot before was more clear and this one less clear, but it's not terrible.
Well, here King Queen Ben has a winner. Kind of an interesting board there with the six pairing, ace Queen 6-6, two diamonds. 7-4, not really involved in the hand. King Queen going to have a winner if he can get the showdown. Vastly not taking a shot with the gut shot on a paired board. Diamond there, double diamond. So may just be Ben going over 4 million here, but let's see if there's any other ideas.
I mean, not an unreasonable hand to bluff in Alex shoes. You block ace 7, ace 4 suited. You also block the occasional 6, 7 of hearts by Ben, which is rare, but if you want to have a non-equity bluff, it's probably one of the better ones. While like ace 4, ace 7 of hearts get checked, you know, you want to have non-diamonds in your hands if you bluff the river in a spot like this. But But yeah, it's not really relevant or massive blocker effects anyway, but just to think about. And I mean, I think this will never go through.
Well, Ben does make that statement true. 4.5 now million. So he is separated into the chip lead. We have 4.5, 3.5, 3.3, 2.6, 2.9, 2.6, and 2.1. So pretty again, still even, but a little separation for Ben. Things working now, getting a walk. In terms of our wager, yeah, it's still pretty even.
You have Ben?
Yeah.
And Alex? No.
Come to Brazil.
Ah, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's about.
So you're ahead. You're in the lead.
It's close, but I also did. I took a flyer with Allison, gave a little action.
That's right.
But yeah, so far so good. Still in the mix here. A6 going to open. No one with much here. And 2,700 joining us right now. A lot of people on, a lot of familiar faces, some new faces. Please engage Twitter. Retweet. Let us know what you are enjoying the most today. We have got, again, new graphics, new show, new season, and Fedor joining us. Hopefully seeing Fedor more often. That's the plan. How Fedor enjoys it. It's almost like a good study session. I always say the booth magic. It does happen. Great results happen. Good timing to get it before Jeju. I can't take in the show GGMillion. We can't take all the credit when you win 2 titles in Triton and do something crazy. But I can tell you it helps because we've had great players come on and have an immediate success afterward. That's the problem. You have a lot of accolades because you can't just say,
that's the reason I'm here.
It helped. I mean, listen, you can't say it doesn't help because there is something to be said. You noted earlier about timing, right? With the tempo, the timing, just it's like one thing to watch the highlights, to watch the hands, to kind of go through and look at stuff, but it's another to kind of be in it for several hours and being like a really dialed in, call it study, review, analysis session. Of course, whole cards up as well. So a little biased, but still, like it really is a good way to practice, learn, and kind of get in the groove on the game as we see the 5-8 and both players with gut shots here, and the gut shot going to come home for Vasily. Vasily does pair the 3.
No, Adrian pairs.
I'm sorry, Pat pairs a 3, and the gut shot is made. So Adrian going to be aware that although he makes a pair, it's a pretty connected blind on blind board here.
Yeah.
Ooh, gonna slip it over.
Curious to see. I mean, this should always be a check. I mean, I think you probably rather want to have a paired straight to check, like 4-5, 6-5, 3-5. Just for it to be more likely for Adrian to have 2 overs, that he starts bluffing like 7-8 or 8-9, 7-9 type of stuff. Jack-7 backdoor or something like this. So like less likely as a pair, but I think, sometimes you want to check non-paired straights as well, and he goes for that sizing, which I wouldn't know what to make of it, to be honest, if I'm in that spot. I just gut feeling is this is not the spot people love to bluff, but I'm not sure how Adrian thinks about this spot. I could see him folding here. I feel like it's not really the best spot to bluff catch. Especially after the long tank on the turn, and then just feels like he was thinking about what line to take, and I think that's generally more value heavy in spots like this, and that's why he's one of the best.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Does again seems what holds true at this level. A lot of times players just make great decisions on the river, and something has to give when there's great bluffs, great bets, great calls, great folds. But Adrian seems to get it right way more often than not here, as he has ace-4 suited facing the open from Mauricio.
Yeah, I think a good spot for a 3-bet to like 500-ish. He decides to go for a call. Interesting. Oh, action flop.
Yeah, this is the one. The queen nine suited versus gut shot.
Let's see what Alex does. I think both calling and raising is reasonable. He has quite a chip lead over Mauricio, so you could, start to stick this in. I mean, Mauricio should always start betting here for like a small. Okay, he goes for the big sizing immediately. I mean, he shouldn't really be betting Jack X, so you want to polarize between like King X and already on the flop, and think you can go for larger sizings, but I'm not sure about B60 against 2. And Alex just decides for the call, which I think is totally fine. And now you will always see the second barrel drawing towards all in, so I think you'll see you will probably want to choose the biggest possible sizing now. If you block top 2, you want to get in as many chips as possible. Now here on the turn, I think probably you'll see something like 6 to 700.
There it is, 672. Yeah, I mean, King Jack, nice top 2 spot, clean turn, doesn't complete any possible straights or the diamond. So, I mean, queen nine suited, kind of a frustrating one where it's like, all right, I got a
Very
great hand.
frustrating.
Yeah. It's not like cleared. You get paid if you connect, and you're not drawing to the nut flush either. There's some bigger hands that, it sort of shrinks up here, right? The things get less exciting for you.
Totally. And I mean, you have what, like basically just a gutter on top. So 3 more outs, also not changing the world.
Yeah, the implied odds, I think that's part of the thing too. Say you drill the 5 of diamonds on the river, like, are you getting that last 1.1?
Yeah, probably not.
So that's
And that's the
also
problem.
that is a big problem. Yeah, this hand, yeah. It also, again, if it was a smaller sizing on the flop, things could have played differently. Maybe money gets moving, but as played, like, I think there's a good chance he's going to get away from it.
I mean, you probably only get it on the 10.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty specific. And he is going to make the fold. No rabbit cam there. We're not going to know, but Mauricio
no.
will take it up to 2.7. And that is going to make things a little tighter all around there. 4.5. No one's short at all. Come to Brazil with the jacks. Jacks to tens. That is the no. That's my 2-year-old, 1.5-year-old's favorite term. He loves
saying that would be a
flat
call, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this could avoid chaos though. Adrian.
Unless we see a Jack 10 flop, should be fine.
Yeah, this will slow down violence to maybe just a small abrasion for Mateos as we start with a check and 2 10s here. 7-9 ace. No player with the spade. Mateos gonna take the lead. Small bet. 20%.
Yeah, reasonable. You I have some hands that you can value bet against, like 7x, 9x, 8s. Even king high flush draw, king queen of clubs, stuff like this. So very often we'll just go like small step, check, check, turn, and then if he checks, you have a clear check back, and if he bets, you can decide.
Yeah, this is a This is really exciting to see who gets to get this done. This is not a guaranteed today, and we are going to see kings now for Ben to come to Brazil with ace 10. Strong hand, 6-handed under the gun. Big difference than the 9-handed. And ace 10, though, is going to get resistance from the chip leader out of the small blind. Pretty strong raise here from Ben and come to Brazil. Not one of the ones you just love to play big pots with or, get 2 out of line. It's kind of annoying. It's a decent hand, 6-handed, but with that raise, it's not a normal continuation. But he come to Brazil's a fighter, man. He doesn't just go away. He jams up the king deuce off right out the gate versus a cutoff raise in the big blind, and he's got ace 10 here, and he's they say think long, think wrong. He's burning a little clock. Gonna fold though. Gonna get out of the way. Didn't like it, but he got out of the way. As we are still 6-handed. Who do you think's going to win? You can guess that on my Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker. Hit the retweet. I'll put the link again. You can guess the winner as well as just retweet. Even if you don't get it right, it's not relevant to you winning the giveaway, but you can still just guess for fun, see what happens. Who do you pick right now? All things equal, like forget about yours early. Just separate that we have our own players from the start of the match. Like this second, Ben's got 4.8. It's a pretty decent lead. Things are going well for him. He's got to be the clear favorite now. He was to start and definitely moving that direction, but many people could hurt him with an all-in or some sort of a dent. It's definitely still wide open. I got to say, in terms of firepower, almost 100 million in GG earnings amongst the 9 today. Artur coming with 11 of the 17 titles. Chance for a new winner here today, although Katsu is not one and Mauricio is not one. Ben has got himself 1 title. I feel like he's 1 more, but I guess that's right. 1 title for him, 1 for Come to Brazil, 3 for Mateos, and Vasily also has 1. So chance for a new champion, also very likely going to be a repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And King Jack, going to go ahead and crank it up here on a scary board. Top pair. Oh, interesting.
Okay. Might go to showdown. Let's see.
Yeah, so adventurous call there on the check raise with ace jack there with a gut shot and an over to the king, also a club. No one with the club, and that's a better run out for Cats. You're going to feel a little better, although 1 club would be a winner. So let's see if Come to Brazil just going to be content trying to get to showdown, and scary board for both players.
Yeah, I think we'll always go check, check. I mean,
yeah. Yep, nice pot. 3.4 for Cats Chew and 30-60K. In one hand, we will go up. Blinds are going to be going up as normal. You can see this is not big blind ante. This is online, so no need for that. Everyone contributing to the ante per hand, and then the big blind is there it is, 35-70. Still plenty of play. Our short stack still over 30 big blinds, and our big stack with a cool 70 on the dot. 70 times into 49. So that is what's in between 30 and 70 big blind poker.
I'm curious what Vasily is doing now with the queen jack after he folded the ace 5. Okay.
All right, queen jack gonna make top pair, ace 10. Pretty boring flop, not what you want to see. Queen jack suited, back door with the top pair, couple back door. So better flop for queen jack suited, out of position though. And Katsu is thinking. Pretty dry board. Goes for a half pot.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that sizing? Is that a spot maybe where you need less, or is this just fine?
I mean, that's fine. You're probably supposed to have some checks here as well. Like you're looking at in the small blind, right? You're looking at kind of you can think of okay, what makes up a big part of his range, and a big part of his range is these pairs, right? So like fives through tens or whatever that
Yep.
make up a big part of his range, and then he has broadways like some suited aces, maybe something like king queen suited or king jack suited or queen jack suited. Or maybe even a hand like ace 8, ace 9 suited. And the most part I think that you're attacking here with the sizing would be pairs, right? When you sit on pocket sevens, and Alex should start betting basically Jack X or better, right? He has like ace Jack or King Jack and starts betting half pot. You start to put pressure on these pairs. That's kind of the dynamic you see on the board here. And I think that is a good continue. Because again, like sure, Vasily has like King Jack, Ace Jack, but quite kept in his range and hard to continue with under pairs and just really like really like continuing attacking there. And I'm really curious what Alex does on the
Yeah,
river.
I gotta say that it's such a obviously nutted, beautiful turn for the queen, where the over comes. There's the backdoor flush draw comes in, and you just have top two on the 2-3 queen jack, and have an opponent who's willing to battle, going to be continuing almost full range. And look at the discipline; it gets scary, right? For the gut shots, for the flush draws, just to check it all the way and send it over to Katsu here, who could unload the clip. I mean, this is a really well constructed hand by Vasily, and I am curious myself what to do here. It's ICM is at the peak right now. Everyone pretty even, and we're down to 6. This is where the pressure is so big, and he is loading up a decision.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he bets, he should bet so that he can value bet and like King Queen, so he wouldn't go too big for sizing, because you want to attack a hand like Jack 10 suited or whatever. But yeah, I don't really like the bet here. I mean, in theory, you're supposed to do that a fair amount of time, right? Like you will, if you bet value bet King Queen plus, you actually have quite a reasonable amount of value bets. But now it's actually interesting for Vasily, he's supposed to raise this here. And it's actually, whenever I see these spots with value, I'm thinking like it's such a beautiful spot to wow, not raising this. It's very nitty. Oh. Yeah.
All right, the mystery hand. Here we go. 10-6 in the small blind, and we are going to see Adrian versus Katsu here. As a likely limp. I don't know. I guess that we see with covering, he has options, but he's gonna come in kind of a weak hand, could make straights too though. Is that pretty standard 10-6 there to limp with the stack distribution?
Yeah, that's fair. Now this is interesting. Quite a lot of equity is being added, right? Like 4x, 5x, but then also lots of like 7x, 3x. Just a random Jack 7 that Alex checked behind that now is an open ender. So you kind of have a thin value bet here with 6x. And yeah, now kind of again, actually, you still probably can value bet, but you can also consider checking and then calling a bet. Can go either way. The thing though is, okay, so we see B150. So that's basically polarizing, right? It's saying like I have king 3 or better. You know, could be king 4, king 5, could be 7, 8, could be 4, 5, could be pocket fours, could be lots of hands. And I personally think that in this spot, I mean, you're hoping to see hands like Jack 7, Jack 8, maybe 8, 9. Um, I think that the line is slightly on the greedier side, and I think that people are having it more often here. I personally would fold. Also with the 10 of diamonds, I don't think it's not necessarily a bad or great card. But I think I would have better hands to call here.
Yeah, that's a great point about being greedy too. There's just so much in the middle that is like for what that bet is and what you have invested and that size and the whole thing. It just can't seem like that big a mistake to fold if somehow you get bluffed there, as you do see the value. I think that's again one of the things that players at the top do the best is they're really in tune to population tendency and sort of pattern recognition on these type of spots. With that said, Mateos and Katsu are playing the high rollers right at the highest level with each other. So there's just, I think, you know, it's why I like to remind everyone, I say this a lot, that this is also be careful. When you're playing a $20 rebuy or a $10, you know, or a $500, $300 with thousands of players, you know, it's a different sort of game, right? And different things are happening. So you have to be careful just to watch this and try to apply all these things in spots because it is a different game when you're playing high roller, small field versus smaller buy-in, bigger field. Like definitely things don't just translate. It's also a final table. This is an early stage tournament, bubble of tournaments, final table of tournaments. So there really is a lot going on. This is more concentrated spots of final table, ICM, and again, guys that know each other very well, play with each other regularly as well. So we got to see that. Next week there will be a show. Good question. Yep, next Tuesday, pretty much every Tuesday at the same time. You can join us for the GG Millions, and that is almost every week unless there's a double special or some sort of holiday or a random occurrence. You will be seeing again next Tuesday as well. And again, Fedor, I know we're not locked into specific times, but we are going to try to have you on as much as possible coming up and balance with your schedule. So we'll hopefully be getting more Fedor more often on here. I know everyone enjoys that. And again, where's how active are you guys? Have some poker code, any type of courses or live stuff or meetups, and how active has that been? And what are the latest updates with your sort of coaching with I mean, and all that? What have you guys been doing with Matthias?
I mean, lately we travel quite a bit for Tritons. So for me, it's mostly been Tritons and WSOP for live poker. And then we have actually we have done a collaboration with the casino in Marrakesh. So there was a WSOP circuit in Marrakesh, and we did a collaboration with them. So lots of community members came out, and we also kind of regularly do like a meetup here in Vienna because lots of our members are German or Austrian. So it's like the hub here in Central Europe. And yeah, that's always quite nice. But I'm not really planning on doing more. Like I feel like I'm enough on the road already.
Yeah, how is Marrakesh? I've never been there. That's on my short list of places that I'd like.
It's nice. Like the casino and the location, it's nice. I mean, best you go when it's cold somewhere else. So in summer it can get pretty hot, but it's very nice in like, you know, February or whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. I'm definitely looking to get there, as we are seeing Adrian looking to get a clean run out. Pretty good flop there. Kings, Queen 5-5, although multi-way button, flatting range, not going to consist of many fives. And then Vasily in the big blind there, 7-9 suited, going to miss. Kings, the way best hand, goes for a small bet into two players. Doesn't have to protect too much there.
Interesting. Ace check off continues. 8-9 of diamonds, I'd kind of like to get in the mix here. 7-9 can also be. Small raise, you know. Put them in the blender. Vasily definitely came to play.
Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, man, if you're in Mateos, you have a hand as strong as kings, you get flatted and then popped. I mean, this is uncomfortable, but also you just can't really have a better hand, right? Really here than this. So he's not going to go away in the diamond, though. Out of all the cans, I guess again, 7-9 suited, you put in the backdoor galore, just sort of opportunity where that is relevant, and he does actually pick up one of those. I mean, a 6 or an 8 of diamonds would have been the ideal one for him, but this is still does continue with outs. And how does this factor? And they're deep too, 4.4, 1.8. Adrian about SPR1 here in the middle, and this is an interesting turn.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is basically almost a geometric sizing, so around B40, B40. So he will have 40% of the pot left on the river after he calls, so he will have like a bit under 1.2 million left into like 3 million. And
Wow.
that is obviously the best possible card for Adrian, and probably also a card that gets Vasily to shut down. Now you're like, these spots are actually interesting because I feel it's a spot where if you bluff here, I mean, no one bluffs here, right? It's like if I'm sitting in Adrian's shoes and someone goes all in there after this line in the river, it's just, I mean, of course, it's much less value, but it's like, I think that's not really a spot that gets bluffed ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of one of those double-edged things where it's like, yeah, no one's ever bluffed. Like, it's such a bad card to bluff that if you did, but kings would just be the tallest order. I mean, Adrian's capable of making hero folds or spots, but I mean, now and here he is check too, and this is such an important pot. I guess is there? I mean, it doesn't seem like a world where you could check here, right? I mean, you'd realize your opponent could slip a 5 to you, but like you also just going to hit the queen. The question is, what does Vasily do? What does Vasily do with the queen? Would he just shove or? This is kind of interesting, but I mean, obviously Vasily can't do anything at this point. He's surrendered.
Yeah, I mean, I think as Adrian, you still bet the river, you know, just in case he has ace queen. You know, you might go for a non-all-in sizing, you know, bet like kind of a stupid sizing on the river. I think he's considering that.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. He might realize that his opponent just does he right. At the off chance he has a queen though. Okay, so he goes 805. Interesting. Leaves himself a little behind in case, but yeah. That would be if he got check jam there with 300 left, he couldn't fold that hand, that spot. Would you ever? I mean, you could never. That would just be absurd.
Yeah, that's what. No.
Yeah. No.
But it's also a spot that doesn't happen, you know. Sometimes there are these hypothetical. It's just something that never happens.
Exactly.
Like if you have a 5, you're 100% all in on the river.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine, you know, Adrian has ace queen and you know, it goes check. It would just be worst case scenario.
Right. All right. Well, we're still 6-handed as expected. Fast start means sort of likely a slower middle at this juncture. Just everyone has some chips, so people aren't just throwing it in. Definitely not been passive. We've seen players go for it, so chips are battling around. Ben kind of got up to 4.6, and he's sort of just hunkered in that position. As Mateos now over 4 million, we could have ourselves an instant classic. Ben versus Mateos, two of the bigger names left. Mark Teresian did bow out 11 titles, over 40 million in GG earnings. He went out with a king queen bluff catch to played his hand well, kind of trapping tens on a innocuous board, and snap called the river. King high shoved on a 3-3 deuce deuce. Was it 8 other card?
7.
7. Okay, and that was that. So it's really been one of the more exciting hands today. And ace king here gonna go ahead and be playing. He has got himself like 3, something like that blinds, and offsuit ace king out of position. Gonna go for a 3-bet non all in.
Yeah, I think that's the right choice. You probably want to induce in a spot. You know, you're by far last. Potentially gives you the chance to widen your 3-bet bluffing range, but also induce some 4-bets, right? Like maybe someone gets fancy with the suited ace or whatever. Yeah, like this. And that's why the 3-bet is quite good there. I mean, the turn proves otherwise, but hallelujah.
Well, that
GG's.
is going to be that is down to 5. You can't blink. I was just looking over, and that is quite a hand. Mauricio Pai is now in our commanding position with Ben. So 5 left. You just can't blink in this game. I was actually just realizing I tagged you incorrectly. You're Crown Up guy on Twitter. Is that right? Did I put you as?
Yeah.
I put you as Fedor Holz. I just copy pasted from Instagram, so I messed that up. But I will amend that. But okay, tweet is out. That is live, and that is a GG. Man. All right, so now you did take Mauricio. No, so it's come to Brazil. You have Mateos and Mauricio. Oh wow, so 7 to
my man.
Slightly winning. Ace 3 gonna
he eliminated your guy.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly hand there. Okay. Well, I didn't have Cats Chew.
No,
because I took Come to Brazil. I got Come to Brazil
right.
and Benjamin, but still good result for you. That was important. Important get there. Ace 3, ace king.
I have a feeling Adrian is winning. I don't know. It's just
you just hey, listen, you got to go with your gut. 4 million. He's definitely he's right in there. This is about as close as it gets though. 5-handed again. No one short. A lot to play for here. I just can't believe
he's locked in, man.
I mixed that up. You know what's funny? I saw Phil Hellmuth tweeted this about skipping the main event and the endurance. I did want to get your opinion. Yeah. He told me at the World Series, I remember right after the main event in person, he was telling me that. He said, I'm going to do this. I'm sure he talked to WSOP, try to get them to look at changing that. What are your thoughts on this? Is that a hot take, a wild take? Do you think there's some validity or some compromise? He does say 80% of the people he believes would say that. I don't know if it's quite that high, but it definitely is a grind. You know, it's a long tournament and it's long days. And you've had some deep runs there in that particular format. What do you think?
I mean, I think it kind of goes both ways, right? Like with the main event, it's a bit. I mean, for me, it's too long. I'll be very honest. You know, like I don't like to sit there for 12 hours and do nothing. But I feel like this is kind of the experience, right? Like I feel that's the main event. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it's 90-minute levels instead of 120 minutes. But I feel a lot of people like this grind and being in there and updating their friends on like how they're doing and it being slower and
yeah.
And I feel that's at least how I experience it. That's the main event experience that people are going for.
It is also they've done it in a way which is kind of cool, how it's like if you get knocked out, there's so many other tournaments and it kind of overlaps. There's stuff going on as well. So you take away that about it's too long or it's like whatever. It's just kind of you could structure a schedule for yourself to kind of be out there and plan to do well and if not play some side events. With Phil's point, he's 60 years old. It is asking a lot, but I don't know. What would be the solution? You make it a lot slightly shorter where they mandatory end at midnight, like hard stop at a certain time, and move it. Like maybe it adds a day total or a half a day more, or you take a break in between and do a half day. I don't know. There's probably some things they could look at, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Phil's out on an island here. He has a valid point. It's kind of close, I think. It is.
I think it's definitely, some parts of it are really grueling. Like I mean, I came 25th in the main event, and
Yep.
you know, for me, it's perfect because, of course, I prefer it, right? I would prefer 40 nowadays. Like, I'd prefer, you know, 100K buy-in, 10,000 runners, 15 hour day every day. Like, that is, of course, is where I would do the best. But
Yeah.
I think there's a certain line where, you know, if you look at, you know, other main events, um, if it goes over 5 days, I think it's just good to have, you know, I don't know, like a 10-hour day is fine, not like a 13, 14-hour day. That's just too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting though. It's a big statement for him to miss. Like that's the other thing. It just shows you his competitiveness and what he believes. Because like at the same
Oh, he will
time, right?
not miss it, man. He will not miss it.
You think he's not going to miss it if they don't make any
No,
amendments.
no, he's not missing
Wow.
it.
You know, I was thinking about Polymarket. I know that's like with the betting and random stuff. Like that'd be a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
line right now. Like I wonder what the actual price is. Like that, I would bet you. I think, but not maybe not even money. Cause I agree. I just don't see how he doesn't just like flick it in, even like give it a go. If you get tired, you get tired. Like you know what I mean? It's like all right, maybe you won't win, but you could go super deep. And like, is it really
Yeah,
gonna like
let's
blind out?
say,
You could, yeah.
I mean, you can register it in day 2, even. I think you get 50 big blinds or whatever. It's like fine, right? It's not like, and then you're already. I mean, the money is like day 3, so you play. Sure, you play one day, but then you're already in the money, and then he's out anyway. So I don't know. Play 2 days of poker. There's a break day in between because they merged the day 2s differently. So I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, I think it's a bit dramatic. I mean, I don't I love Phil. You know, we do a lot of business together. Great friends. I just stayed on at his house for 3 days, 2 weeks going to the Warriors charity event, and I knew he was saying he was going to go this route. I'm a little surprised, and I mean, I don't know. It might be a stunt, it might be a bluff, but I would bet you at some price. I'd have to think about it because like I agree. I don't see how he just like he won youngest main event champion ever at the time, most bracelets ever. It's a WSOP, and to that point, like even if you think you actually can't potentially win, it's just like, you know, you can suck it up and get a little extra rest or take some naps or, you know, he's in good shape for 60. But yeah, interesting price. What do you think the actual price is, the true price?
that he's not playing.
Yeah.
I think he's less than 50% to not play. I think he's like a slight favorite to play. Probably, I don't know. 1-1, 2-1, I don't know.
He's
Maybe
a
he
man of
said it
principle. He's a
because,
man of principle. You know,
yeah,
WSOP, they might be like, hey, we're going to put you in plus give you money. Like, you just got to come out and play. And, you know, if he says that and he stands by it, that's the thing. I think there's a chance they do make some amendment of some kind, but I guess the schedule's out and the structure's set. But I don't know. Maybe they could do a little variation of like cap the day or push a day. But anyway, interesting topic. Those of you can debate at home. What do you think the odds are? And are you going to be playing the main? If you do, please say hi to us out there. I know that's something I haven't missed in a long time. Don't think that maybe you missed one for a wedding. I think one time maybe out of all the years, but yeah, it's a fun
what was the
tournament.
deepest run?
I've gotten like 220 a couple times right in that, like 221, 2 something. Nothing where the room closed up, you know, or you could see the tables left and it was like felt like a winning 25. That is deep. That is certainly deep.
The
3
most
tables.
heartbreaking moment of my poker career. Like I literally I felt like it's impossible to bust out of this tournament. There
You
were
were in
like
the
20
super zone.
recreationals, four regulars, and me, and I was just like, at the height of my career, you know, felt like there's no. I mean, I had like 8 million. It just felt like it's impossible to bust this tournament.
Not to bring up sore memories. It's a while ago. Could you go cold a little bit of a cold deck or a bad hand? Like how deep? How many blinds did you have like when you knocked out? Was it like a pretty standard?
At like maybe 30 or 40 blinds. Yeah, I think um I lost ace 9 to ace 8 for like half my chips. And then lost ace 8 to ace 8 for the other half. So I
Yeah.
don't know, it was just a very, very sad moment. It's just one of the, because I mean, back then I think it must have been day 8. So it's like, you know, I played poker for 60 days straight, I think, no break. And then, you know, on day 8 of the main, it's just everything inside of me, everything broke down. It's just like a
Yeah.
sad
No,
day.
I do remember back in as we see Mauricio going to work here, King 3 suited going to run into ace 10 in the small blind. So certainly we know he's going to be playing. I do remember like I remember like one of the second or third year playing when it was just like the most exciting, really, where it was like, wow, like to be in the tournament was just it felt so good. And I remember a friend of mine, we were sharing a hotel room, and like I think it was dinner break or something. I came back and I walked in and he had like the lights were off. He was in bed, kind of like a lamp might have been on. He had like a 12 pack of beer on his chest and he was just sitting there. And it's like the emotion I saw in his face for being knocked out, it like just reminded me like how like when the wind knocked out of your sails, or when you do bust, whatever point it is, it just like early on, right? The first couple of years of playing, just so emotional. You just really care so much. And it just feels like really, this is a bad day as a poker player and you bust the main and it just doesn't feel good. That's a tough one it's tough to walk off. Yeah, I would have done things a lot differently in a lot of spots. It is such a special structure and tournament. And now 10,000 people, tricky to win, right? But yeah, down to 25.
Tricky to win for sure.
Tricky to win, but yeah, you got people, you got friends, close friends, and people we all know. It's actually, to me, it amazes me the amount of people that I know or even know like fairly well that have won or go deep. You know what I mean? Like just just because it is so much, I guess it shows you the actual anyway that it's possible to win if you're not a pro or known. But it's like it is kind of in a way I would say it's almost like a little bit crazy how well I know people that have gotten like top 2 or 3 in that tournament. You know what I mean? That have done well in poker. But do you feel that way, or do you think that's more random?
Who's winning, you mean?
Yeah, like people you know, like when you see the final table, you're like, oh wow.
I
Like
mean, it's a big community, right? Like I probably know over 500 people, maybe more, that play this tournament. So if you know that many, then at some point, you know, especially all those are all the good players. So
yeah,
I mean, obviously, like I know Hossein quite well. I know Korai quite well. Who else was there? I think those are the main event winners I know the best. And then of course quite some final table lists.
Yep. Well, Mateo's here, I think, debating if he needs to bluff. I mean, he's got maybe exactly thinking I could get off a 7 or something. That's sort of specific, but it's like he's got the ace 10 relevant. He's got the ace for the possible straight here. The board got a little bit scary, and he's gonna go ahead and just take a stab. And that is it's a nice bet, having a little bit of showdown, deciding that he has to bluff and got a hand to fold. So really nice recognition, execution, and pulling the trigger there for the right reasons, as he is up to 4.1. Look how even this is: 3.8, 4.1, 4.2, 4 million, and then 3. So you can't really have a closer 5-handed match. If 4-handed, we'll do the first $50 ticket.
Wow,
then we'll do
in that suited folding. Doesn't want to play it. Just lost one. Doesn't want to play anymore.
Yeah, pretty interesting here. Queen 10, King Queen, Jack 9. Playable hands across the board. Mateo's gonna go ahead and flat, not 3-bet. Does dominate the Queen 10. Jack 9 cards are live, gonna come in. What about here completing to the raise in a flat, Jack 9 off? Like what type of hands do you like to defend? What's your cutoff to put in there, chips?
In the big blind?
Yeah, in the spot with the raise and a flat.
I mean, that is definitely the fringe. Against small blinds, a bit different than if it's, for example, cutoff button.
Yeah,
it's slightly better for you in the big blind. So yeah, I think Jack 9 off is fine. I fold Jack 8. I mean, definitely fold Jack 7, something like this. Well, like Jack 9 always call, Jack 7 always fold. Something in that range probably. Well, like I might call Jack 8 off then.
King Queen makes top pair. There is 4 to a straight out there, and it's possible flush, but he does go for value.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Mystery. Queens for come to Brazil.
Let's see.
Saw Queens run to aces. That was 9-handed. We are 5-handed under the gun. Gonna min raise against the big blind here. Mauricio with 4 mil on the dot to start the hands. And he is going to be, we know, participating, going to call. The ace comes, ace nine deuce, two diamonds, queens. Here, like to see a bet.
Yeah, I mean, we will often see bet this flop for like B30. Goes a little bit smaller. It's okay. B25 to B30 is totally fine here. Two-tone board. Now on this turn, we're always checking our hand. No real reason to value bet. We're doing really well against the hands we're ahead against. Don't really get called by worse, except 9x of diamonds or something. It's not really worth bothering to play against. And now it can get nasty on the river.
Yeah, you do have a diamond. There's flushes possible. Wouldn't expect to get check raised by a flush draw on the ace nine two out of position there with the ace out there. So yeah, they definitely can have some flushes. Queen of diamonds relevant.
Yeah,
but the
half pot kind of sucks. Half pot sucks because I think it's not really. I mean, the main bluffs, for this sizing are more hands that really can't bluff, like a queen 10 of hearts or whatever. But I think mostly this is just very hard to find the correct amount of bluffs here for this to be a call. I think, the hands you probably want to see him bluffing is like jack deuce of clubs, right? Like turning something like this into a bluff, because it's hard to have to find the right amount. You would need to bluff quite some deuce X, and the only vectors you have, you could obviously turn like, whoa, okay.
There you go. Listen, anytime I'm in the booth with Fedor and we have multiple choice A, B, C, and then D gets slammed in there. We didn't have this one on the table, but actually kind of is sick, right? He could get some like ace X maybe to fold, or some other hands. He's repping a strong flush at this point, but was a check back turn though is the interesting part.
Yeah, check back. I mean, that is fairly reasonable though. You're supposed to check quite a decent frequency of flushes on the turn, so it's like fairly reasonable. And I think against half pot I quite like it because I think there's less flushes in that sizing. It probably goes into slightly bigger sizing. So I think if you bluff there in a spot, then I think it's good against this sizing. It's often ace X. Really like it. The price is rough though. You risk 1.2 million to win like 750. Has to work quite a lot for it to be profitable.
And if you're Mauricio's shoes here and you have a hand as strong as, I mean, you're not probably folding the two pair combos, or is that even sort of a polarized spot? So could you just call with an ace?
I mean, in this spot, you're just all in, I think.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
Like,
well, now we see that he has the king jack. So he had the hand to potentially.
yeah, I mean, that I think is especially in these type of lineups, I think it's just very easy to be there all in there. Wow. If you ever have the chance, to get there with like king jack off, king 10 off, you just have to pile it there.
Sick hand. Definitely a cool hand. Couple game tree spots on the river there could have gone a variety of ways, as we saw it go off path, and then even another option was there.
Because the reason why I'm always all in there on the river is because it's one of those spots where sure you have king jack, king 10 off, and maybe your bluff, I don't know, king 9 off is not really a bluff. So yeah, let's say you have king jack, king 10 off, that you bluff there, and then once he raises, I mean, you have the king high flushes, right? You have every king high flush, and then I think once you get there, it's like kind of natural selection. There's not that crazy amount of flushes or even bluffs that you can find there. So I think in this particular spot, when you have the blocker even, he doesn't have nut flush, which I think is the most natural checkback, right? Like those are the checkbacks, like king queen of diamonds, king jack of diamonds. Those are the hands you check back. then yeah, I just think that's the type of hand you got to be all in with.
Cool hand. Definitely a cool hand. The highlight hand there is pocket fours. And we see a bottom set on a pretty connected board there. You see the monotone 6-8-4 spades, possible straight, possible flush. Of course, five was Mauricio going to open 5-7 on the button, like 5-7 suited. But either which way, set strong hand, as you can see, against a hand that had essentially no equity on the flop. Now does what turn a jack would make the straight. So he has a turn some outs, but Vasily is thinking how to keep going here. If he wants to lead now or just check again. And he will bet small. Interesting bet.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that turn lead size and versus checking?
Yeah, not so sure. I'm not sure if I have leads there. It's probably, I'm not sure on the 10, maybe a slightly lower card, 9 or lower. I think it's more reasonable.
Well, I'll tell you what, he got a bite. At the same time, you are
Yeah.
not nutted. 9-7 suited. You lose to some straights and flushes. 118-1 to flop a flush, but that is possible. I guess you worst case have when you bet like this and that, and you're certainly not folding, right? You're setting up yourself a call and you are looking for some action. But I guess at this point you're a little concerned that you have the best hand with bottom set. We know he's not folding, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's no
Just
way to fold.
call and close your eyes, or is he even thinking of raising? I guess raising could be possible, but that is a scary, scary river.
Now let's see if Maurizio has the balls to bluff here, because there aren't like, this is a spot you have to bluff, right? Like, you just have to bluff because Vasily is not really leading, like check call lead with like king high flush or whatever. No, you don't do that with like king 8, king of spades or whatever. Like, you don't do that with like king 7 of spades. You don't do that with like 7-9 of spades. You don't like it's just not happening. So it's like, now I think you have to understand that in Mauricio's spot and bluff. Like, you have to find a bigger sizing than half pot here to bluff, to basically always win this hand. I think it's just very often, like, hands that Vasily might have are like 9-10, 10 of spades, 9-10, 9 of spades, something like this. So you have to bet big. But yeah, I think half pot should do it here.
Wow. Cool hand. Very cool hand. And 4.6 there. Doesn't have to think too long, steam too long. Gets kings, but got bluffed. Kind of a crazy run out,
Yeah.
that whole hand.
I mean, another easy one. 3-bet and fold. Nothing to see here.
Yep. Vasily gonna wonder about that one on that river there. He'll get to see on the delay, but again, just on the run out, not too much can do. Too much can do. We are seeing a 5-handed affair. Again, big names here and everyone pretty tight. So let's see if we'll get, might take a cooler. Blinds keep going up 40-80K now, just up. We'll have another 20 hands of this upper left. You can see that information. 3,300 watching. Appreciate all of you and good luck on the giveaway. We'll cue that up here shortly. 10% have hit the thumbs up. I know we can get that to at least 20. Let's set a record today. Get involved. Hit the button. Fedor, have you even hit the thumbs up on the stream? I have to remind myself to do it. Helps with the stream, the YouTube. Yeah, the tweet. Get the retweets out. Get the energy here. Let's set records. Let's see if we can take this to 5,000. We have got ourselves an epic ending in tune with no deal making. That is something to people keep asking, and that is if your first time here, there is no deal making. So you're going to see that heads up match, play for the title, play for the money. People asking about next week. Jeju, Fedor is going. I went to Jeju. I've been there. I've been there. It's a trek. I actually took my 2 young children, my wife there, and my dad on a trip, and it was quite a journey and a hike that really knocked the wind out of my sails with. And I'm not going for 17 days. I won't be going to this one. Hoping to go to the Montenegro. Look at that. 4 people are just smashing that button. I appreciate you on the thumbs up, but definitely a cool stop. How many? Which are you playing? It's No Limit mainly, or you play all those? And what else are you playing over there?
Probably play PLO as well. Let's see. Wish me luck.
That's awesome. That is a beautiful game. PLO. I love that game. That is
Yeah.
Poker's fun, man. Poker. That's why people worry about poker and this and solve. Like, no, PLO, 4 card, 5 card, big O, high low, this, that. Like, poker's not going anywhere. It's just new games, new variations, knockouts, mystery bounties. Like, come on. We'll be playing till we're 100 or 110 or something. Who knows what's going to happen? What's getting crazy out there in the world. And poker is a nice way to have a fun game with some skill, luck, and a good time. And again, you can count on us every week. Next week we will be here as well. Was asked. That is almost every week. You can almost guarantee that. Aram Zobian going to join us as a guest next week. I know he just had some success live. He also made a main event final table, and pretty tough player. Have you played with Aram at all, Aram Zobian?
Yeah, like occasional, not that much.
Yeah, over 6 million in earnings. Just got 5th at Poker Go. I think it was what year? I forget what year that was. He had a huge score, 5th or 6th in the main. I think it was like, let's see, I'll find it. Yeah, final table in the main. That's one I want to have on the resume. That's just a fun one. Get to kind of think and talk about for a long time. Obviously, winning it surreal, but big scores, and that's the one. That's the one that I constantly, when I talk to people, it's an interesting board. Gut shot would be problematic for Ben, and does have a decent hand with the backdoor. Got the heart and gut shot, and we've seen a willingness to battle come to Brazil. But that's like the one everyone talks about. When I meet people that don't really know poker, kind of know poker, like they don't think about the 100-side events, even if there's 100Ks, 250Ks, million. They're like, oh, the main event. Everyone kind of knows the main. So like when they're like, oh, how have you done the World Series? Like, okay, I final table this, and this. Like, oh, but they just want to know the main, really, how the main went. So that's the one you want. And Ben now with an overpair on this board versus the big blind, he's got to love 10s, although it is a very wet board, meaning ton of draws, hearts, straight draws available. And he's gonna go ahead.
I like the click back.
Yeah, that was 2018. Got 1.8 million for 6th. That was the year. Do you know your main events? What year? Who won that year? 2018.
218.
Yeah, come on, Fedor. Get your history right. You're out of, you're semi-retired, but you got to know your main event.
When did I? Let me think. Was that I think 2017? I helped.
Give you a hint. Joe Cotta made the November 9 again here. I guess
really.
That was 5th place he got for 2.1. Nicholas Mannion 4th. Linsky made it.
Was that Queen Nguyen or something? Oh,
I think you're in the right around that same. Yeah, you're close. But Tony Miles took 2nd.
Tony Miles. Million. I don't even know who that is.
All right, first I'll give it to you. It doesn't sound like you're getting it. John Sin.
No, I would have never guessed that.
8.8 million. Yeah, I don't think I had that one down. To be fair, I don't think I could peel off the years and who won what. I kind of know roughly who did what when, but I couldn't just go chalk year by year. It adds up, man. It's been a while now. A lot of winners, a lot of years. Joe Cotta has a ridiculous resume in the World Series. Really crazy performances.
Let's see what we have here. Trips against flush draw.
Yeah, this is sort of no way out.
Small blind.
Come to Brazil. He's got the queen that could be good. He's got the backup flush draw. Needs the flush that doesn't pair the board for a boat.
9 of hearts on the river.
Yeah, that would send us to 4-handed and giveaway land. But let's see what else. There's some other interesting rivers. This is come to Brazil. It starts out so innocent, Fedor. Queen Jack suited, pretty hand, come in the small, get the flop, and now here we go. And this is wow. I mean, this is we didn't again, this is the point of the tournament where I like to say we didn't choose where for dinner, in and out or something nice. We didn't say sushi or nice dinners because this is looking dicey for Mateos. Now the question does come to Brazil though. Is he bluffing without kings or the ace? Like what is it? I mean, they're just chopping a lot. I guess that's part of the problem here though, right? If you get blown off here, you're chopping. That is a pretty big deal, and that is going to likely be a curtain call for coming to Brazil. But we've seen hero faults, we've seen miracle things, we've seen disconnects as well. Something could happen, but coming to Brazil is not loving it. Not loving it. It might be Benjamin CB versus the world for me in a second.
No. He's folding here. He's folding.
Wow.
No. He's folding.
The ace on the river is so absurd, right? It's just such a ridiculous.
No, he's folding. He's folding. Come on, guys.
He's getting out. He's going to go on and move along as
yeah.
Okay.
He's folding. Come on. I think I'm fairly certain he's folding here. Fairly certain.
Wow. Okay. He does. Ben shows the deuce. Fedor gets it right. Did you get it right at home? I wasn't sure. I didn't have it for sure fold on that, but that is a nice fold and a alignment with Fedor, showing us some of the Jeju magic he may instill there. That it was tell us why. Why do you think he's down? And what percent of time do you think he calls there? Is it
0?
0.
I think he calls exactly 0. I mean, with the queen, I think he calls 0%. I mean, it is an exploit. I know Adrian probably just didn't give a damn in that spot, but I feel in this spot, you gotta size down. I think he has a queen, and I mean, he has a queen because you have the ace. So I just bet a bit less than all in here.
Well, this is some errant timing from Ben. Ace, queen, 5-handed, big hand on the button, getting 3-bet out of the big, king 8 off. Does just flat, does run the risk of getting outplayed or outflop, but does take it. Ace, queen just showing us doesn't seem to flop so well. We did see ace, queen get blown off right by king 4 earlier in a similar spot. Mauricio flatted, and I think that was previously Vasily, right? Took the king 4 squeeze out of the big and then continued through to win the hand here. Now ace, queen, king 8. Ben just completely whiffing here though, and the king 8 gets called. And
I'm curious how he continues.
Doesn't continue currently. Does go for a check flop and ace queen off again. Calls pre, realizing this is tricky to play. 56 seconds in the chess clock. That is quite a card. Gets the top pair and the queen. The queen of clubs.
I really like the check by Ben again here. Can check fold quite nicely, and then if he checks again, you can bluff river. I think it's a nice spot to go for not too large of a sizing, like 600 to 800, and just fold out pocket 7s or whatever.
Mm. 440 ace queen has got himself a check mark here. No way gonna lose this
Just
hand.
get some water.
We're gonna take a quick breather. We are again 5-handed. 4-handed will cue that $50 GG ticket. Almost 500 thumbs up. Pretty epic stuff. 3,500 on watching. Welcome everyone. Hope you're enjoying. There is a raise, so he does go ahead and suss out, looking for some value. Also has a key club. Has a kicker that plays. and does decide it's good enough. Ben with no decision there. All right. Hope you're having a nice afternoon or evening or morning, depending where you are in the world. International crew here. 8's A7 suited. 8's in the lead. Ben, scary board though. Gonna go ahead and check. Mateos with A7 of clubs. Got position working for him. Has ace high. All right. Jack, Queen, Jack 10. Jack, Queen come to Brazil. Got the best of it right now. Out of position. Gonna call. Both players missed. This is again, the power of position. And here, Queen Jack has a dominating hand and all of a sudden is going to have a really tough way to win as Jack 10 on the ace 7 4 can bet 20%, bet small. Likely just get this done. 4 million for Vasily, 6 million for Mateos. Goes half pot. Ben 3.4, Mauricio 4 million, and come to Brazil. Work cut out. Started the day in second. Taking a look at the 5 remaining players. Ben was chip leader. He is in fourth. Come to Brazil was in second. He is in fifth. Adrian Mateos was third. He is in first. Katz Chu was our fourth place player. He is out. Vasily was in fifth, and he is currently in second. And Mauricio actually having a little spin up, right? He was our 7th place stack, and he is currently in essentially tied for second. So that is sort of the shakeout so far, how the players have fared. And for the betting odds, Mauricio a long shot on the crew out of everyone here. Ben was the favorite. And we still have a nice sweat for dinner. The giveaway, how to enter, must hit the thumbs up button here, must be subscribed, and then type the keyword, which will be coming shortly. And also my Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker. You can retweet that. And guess who wins? That's for $50 cash. I'll do that out of my own pocket at the end of the stream. And then the other 2 will do live here on the stream for the 50 and 100. All right, ace 6, ace 9. Heart available for Ben. Ace 6 going to get a good result there. A little surprised. How much did he bet in the flop? What percent was that? A little surprised he folded there, I guess. Not crazy, but.
I think not too. I think it wasn't that big.
Okay.
But it went away so fast.
Yeah, I just was looking and then trying to get these giveaways queued up, and then happened earlier. I had the tweet wrong with your name. I tagged your name, not your crown up guy, and then we saw the ace 3, ace king was out 6 to 5, and there we have remained 5-handed. Queen king deuces, queen king, powerful card. Diamond here. Deuces, no set, no bet. Also has a pair and a diamond. Does have the for that price. Could take appeal, although the implied odds there. Come to Brazil very short. Doesn't want to just be gifting chips over here. Let's see what he comes with. All right. Well, he does peel on. Very nice semi bluff. He picks up that gut shot now, and that is enough. Double barrel fall through. Mauricio gonna let go there.
Good hand.
Five-handed play. What do you think about deal making online? And do you like the purity of the GG Million? How GG Millions not have the deal making because of the stats and sort of to do that? What are your thoughts on deal making?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, especially when it's for big amounts, I think it's fine to give players the option. What I like is when you just say that something has to be left over. I think that's a better solution, when it's just, hey, you gotta play for at least, I don't know, 10, 20% of the price or whatever. I think that's a good solution. But I also like when it's, I personally like to play, so I like when there's no deal making allowed. I don't mind.
Queen Deuce picks up the flush draw on the turn. Ace Jack has a pretty powerful hand here. And
We'll see the bomb for sure. Yeah.
wow.
Already, putting ace jack in not that great of a spot, but of course the 10's kind of an action killer on the river. Probably see a give up even from Adrian.
Queen Deuce suited is going to check, and Ben going to go ahead and take that pot. Happy to see there. Got, like you said, not a great spot, but turned into a nice run out of no more craziness as he will pick that up. 4.7, about tied, as close as it gets. This has been, again, making up into a battle. This is going to be, no one's going to walk away with this. It appears this will be a fight and pretty even stacked now. Come to Brazil has his work cut out, sub 20 blinds. Mauricio 4 mil. As the ace king suited. What a hand. The 2 leaders pair in the top tier hand rank, tier 1 ranking. Ace king suited, pretty big hand, but pair here 800 doesn't make it affordable. Not a great price there for Ben.
Yeah. Now this is when the 2 big stacks play against each other. Now you'll see pretty solid sizings.
Jack 10, fives, 2 unders. That's rare. Fives also has a spade. Seems like a good result likely coming for Ben. Although again, Jack 10 creativity has a spade, some interesting turn cards, and Ben gonna go ahead
Often
and
see Ben bet here. Kind of value bet. And actually can bet this turn quite frequent as well. Still lots of hands you can value bet against. 2x, 3x, 2 overs, over plus gut shot, ace 4, ace 5, king 4, king 5, flush draws, yada yada yada, lots of stuff. So not against this holding though.
ace 3, 4, 10, blind on blind comes with the limp. What are you thinking here in terms of when you cover? It's pretty even stack, but to start 3xing or more, or come in for raising versus limping, what are your sort of big factors in that?
In this small blind spot?
Yeah, here with 5-handed and this particular stack sizes.
I mean, it depends a lot on the distribution of the chips, right? Like, the more pressure the big blind is under, the more you want to be raising. In this particular spot, the pressure is not through the roof. It's like, of course, there is some, but it's not that we have 2 very short stacks. If you have, for example, someone with 600k, 800k chips, then it's a different spot, and particularly defending medium strong hands, even a hand like 10 deuce suited or Jack 6 offsuit or whatever becomes more difficult for the big blind. So hence raising. Also for not that big of sizings, you know, if you raise to 2.6x big blinds, already becomes difficult for the big blind to defend correctly. So that's when you start raising more. And then in spots like this, you know, you just want to VPI. The first idea is that you want to VPIP a lot because big blind is not so incentivized to raise. So that's going to be the first thing, that you make sure that you just limp a lot of hands from the small blind, and then you will have some raises, but not like a crazy amount. So VPIPing, so playing basically all your hands, is the main priority in the spot. Now let's see what he does with the king queen. I think you can go both ways. In this particular distribution, I probably prefer a call, although Vasily has been squeezing a fair amount. So
Yeah, Vasily also no time bank right now. Got zero
yeah,
on the clock, which is big difference than all the others with 4 minutes plus. The other 4 players been using very little at 9 minutes, and come to Brazil almost 7. So that's let's pick up for Mauricio. As there's a look at who has got what. Everyone here guaranteed 6 figures. 142 up for grabs, about 39K difference for the next jump, then even more 50K for the next, and then up for that final jump of 63,000. So those are the pay jumps remaining. Those are who have got what. Our Turk went out aggressively, 68K. Did blast off the king queen, and then that will be the current standing here. Someone from one of these country flag representing all different parts of the world. Very, very much so the case on GG. A lot of different countries and of the top players in the world. There's so many great players now, so many great pockets of play, as we see Vasily working with the no clock. 3-8 got a piece of the board and has a winner. Gets to showdown. Also kind of 8 connecting with that. There's no at the spade. All right. Well, 4.5 mil for the stack under the gun. Mauricio going to fold. I mean, this is honestly, if depending how Come to Brazil gets through this next bit of the tournament, this could be a 4-handed affair. Super even right now. 4s for Adrian, looking to get in there for a set mine. Ben with the king 3 suited, closing action suited king. Maybe thinking about squeezing, although a suited king, a little different than. All right, he goes for it here. I mean, against these hands, this should be work pretty well. How Adrian out of position there, can't really be. I mean, they're not super deep here. Still, it's deep-ish, but not super deep for 650.
I mean, 4s here is not that great because you're blocking bluffs. You know, like ace 4, but nevertheless, it's what he recognized the spot to be, that Ben takes quite a lot and rips it, which I quite like.
Wow.
Just get good risk reward, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Again, not a spot everyone will take. And we are again 5-handed. Ben that way. Started fast, been a little bit slow, but blinds are now 50, 100. People pretty easy. This is that stage. You can see how many big blinds quickly. What everyone's got: 60 for our chip leader, down to 14 for our smallest current stack. 9-7 off Mauricio against 8-7 suited here, blind on blind. Trying to think his best way of proceeding. And Come to Brazil, the risk premium the lowest. Going to go for that raise, 2.7x and 8-7 suit. That's a lot of hand for the shortest stack. Certainly plain, does just call. 9-7 gets a pretty good flop here.
Can check the flop. One of the better candidates.
Eight now, 7, 8-7 pairing the 8, check, and 8-7 starting to get in this post flop situation where it is not a lot of maneuverability, hard to make a pair. It is widest ranges, small blind, big blind. So this is gonna potentially get a little dicey. Although as played, he may not need to lose too many chips here. See if he wants to bet something. Could just go bet call and then check, but he also, I guess, could check. It's an important pot for coming to Brazil here. 600 in the middle 1.1 and has a gut shot with the pair. Does check back. May end up losing no more chips.
Yeah.
And a 9-7, kind of interesting blind on blind that really could have had played multiple ways. As now it stands, it could just go blocker bet, or I mean, I don't know. Obviously, Conor Brazil won't be betting. Let's see if Mauricio does want to put some little bet out there, and this actually could work.
That is a very interesting bet. I mean, there's no ace, X, and big blinds range, right? So it's like a fairly straightforward value bet. Ace is basically just an irrelevant blank here. It improves a little bit of flushes that can play this way. You know, you could have like king 7 of spades or whatever. But
yeah, he does have a spade in his hand and does decide that was the right play. And again, come to Brazil, making good decisions, though, still. A lot of times, even that queen jack, as you said, pretty straightforward. You would fold 100% of the time. I don't know if everyone at home would, including myself, was thinking that was a little annoying run out, but he has made multiple good decisions throughout here. Again, no guarantee. Started out in second. He is in fifth at the moment, 5 of 5 and sub just about 10.5 big blinds. So needs something to go his way fast. Ace jack for Ben. Mateo's cooking with 6 million. It is 4.6, 4 million, and $1 million. Ben gonna open this one up. Yeah, I will say exciting final table, but Fedor, this is part of the thing on high stakes and these type of GG millions. It does go in waves. There's times where it's just like batshit crazy, and then there's times where it's just, you know, ICM. You got to ride with the punches and kind of let things take their course, and then can heat up again. But we've definitely seen a bit of a cool off right now. 3,600 watching, queuing the giveaway up the second we get the forehand. Be ready for that. And we appreciate you being here. And Fedor, thank you so much for the time. And we look forward to doing this more often. This is definitely been a treat, and I guess you'll be. Is your 3 weeks full? It's about 3 weeks in Jeju, right? 2.5, 3 weeks. So it's a good stretch.
Yeah, it's a long stretch. I fly out in 5 days, and then I stay for 1 to 2.5 weeks. So not too short.
How do you like the food over there and the culture? How many times have you been to Jeju?
I mean, Jeju once. I like Korean food, but yeah, I don't eat meat, so my options are limited. Now here, this is interesting with the ace king, whether to check or bet is close. I personally would check here quite often on the flop. It's kind of ugly because once you start betting, you kind of it's not really fun if you get raised, and he does get raised. And with the king of clubs, you know, you can't really go anywhere. Bet folding here is just really sucky. Just gotta stick it in, basically.
Yeah,
The thing is, though, yeah, a lot of players don't really have any bluffs there.
Yeah.
So it's like not really fun against this sizing to go all in. Oh, this is really nice. Now Ben should go for like B15, B15 or whatever. And he does as I command.
Guys, you guys are locked in. You guys are on the same wavelength here. He is now come to Brazil. This has become messy. Very messy.
Yeah.
It's an interesting card to show. We are down with, look at this, no one with a 9 high even. 5 distributions. That's actually not true. We have a pair of 5s, but no face cards, no broadways. 5s though, good for a pair. And the 5-3 suited with no overs, no live cards is not quite the right price. Going to give it up. Come to Brazil, going to hit the blinds, having just picked up the big blinds and the antes. So 782 through the blind at the big blind. King 9, ace queen, ace 8 for Ben. Vasily with the real hand, ace queen. We really haven't seen so many nasty coolers. We saw the aces to queens for Hey Allison. That was a knockout. Other than that, we really haven't seen a ton. I guess what, flip ace king to queens, but not a crazy amount of setups. Seen a lot of play today. King 9 come to Brazil. Risk premium the lowest by far, going to complete and just whiff. The queen queen ace going to hit very hard. Very, very big flop.
Pick flop, but no action.
Yeah, almost too much, right? Got a little
too
much there. Whew.
Let's see. That could be something, but not sure.
Queens ace 6 suited. Is Uno popular in Europe? Did you grow up playing Uno? Is that a game that is that an international game? I assume. I think that's one of those worldwide games.
Yeah, it's a game.
Okay. I played for the first time in many years yesterday. Got into there was a game going, it broke out, and there was a card I'd never seen. There was this reshuffle card where you in your hand, you can just throw it in and shuffle everyone at whatever's going on in the game, and reshuffles. I didn't know if that was
really?
a new, yeah, I'd never seen it before. Caught me off guard. I don't know if that's the new school way or if I just never remembered that, but yeah, it was kind of fun to play. Had a high stakes poker game going and Uno game in the same room, and it was I think the Uno game was more intense. There was loser had to do shots, and it was this whole deal. And I just hadn't played in 5 years. And look at this, ace 9 gonna make a stand right into queens, and ace is gone. Ben, can he just pick up the money here and take us to four-handed, take us to the giveaway, or will come to Brazil run hot as declared? As Mateos, I guess, was thinking closing the action, get in there. He's gonna get out. Ace 9 queens is in the flop. Oh, the hard way. That's at the craps table, hitting the doubles. That is not easy instead of the ace, although the ace was gone and no queen available. And that is quite a swing. You're gonna have to wait for the giveaway. Come to Brazil is not going to bow out. Ben is running icy cold. The Greg goes all in 3.4 mil. He would have had 4.8 and Ben down to four-handed with everyone in the 4 to 5.5. Now we got ourselves a little more of a game, and Ben just is going to have to take that on the chin and regroup. Going to have to regroup. Also, Elliott Rowe, man, it's every hand's a puzzle. You know that you got to regroup and move on. That's life. Stuff happens, things happen. You got to regroup, and this is going to see who can do that the best. This is a lot to, no one's giving this away. I can tell you this. If you're a satellite winner, if you come in, you want to play the GGMillion, this is not where you want to end up with these 5 guys remaining, because there is not much to give here. These players know what to do. They're playing tough. And yeah, crazy. No, so Uno, any Uno experts out there? Is that a variation, or am I just not remembering? Because it's such a pure game. No, they changed things. Baseball shot clock. They want to put the NBA to 10-minute quarters. They make adjustments in games over the history of the world, but I think it's been 10, 15 years I've played. I've never seen that shuffle card. It just threw me off. I'm sure there's some Uno experts out there, but did not see that. Jack 10, 9, 10. Everyone here has something. Everyone here has something. Top pair and pair open-ended. No clock. Gonna call, and hello. Gets the card. Club possible flush, but 9, 10 straight. Strong hand here.
And no time though. Probably should have bet.
Yeah, might have missed something there.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Aram Zobian is going to be Not what are we on? I just misspoke. I thought it was the 25th. That's the 4th. Going to be the 4th of March. So next week, mystery guest. Going to have to keep you guys posted on that. But the 4th will have that, and gonna be getting the. There'll be Triton Sweats going on next week too. A lot of action, a lot of poker going on in the world. Pretty impressive the numbers. World Series Maine over 10,000 each year now. The live stops, the guarantees across the world, and then online too, hitting records for guarantees and entries. So yeah, this is a good place to be right now in poker. Are you surprised, Fedor? Because for a moment it seemed like it was trending down a bit, poker and the trajectory of the game. Are you surprised, or what do you think would be one of the reasons why there's been such a big sort of resurgence of players and people with poker?
I mean, a little surprised, right? Like Corona was a surprise for sure for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely helped boost online, and then that transition into live. And I think GG buying WSOP, I think that's big. So yeah, I think Asia growing is also a massive factor. It's very important for the game. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it is.
The
It's cool.
7 on the river in good old Mateos fashion.
Mateos, something's got to give. Two immovable forces. That is an unfortunate river. Also has the jack. I mean, he's got a pretty.
Yeah, that's like big bet on river and call, like
Yeah,
no way around
800, 900, even greedy, could go greedier, but I think, yeah, some about 8, and that is Ben just nasty. Gonna call.
Yeah,
Really,
snap
what else
call,
can I do? Yeah, it's pretty silly river there, as Mateos gonna shoot up to 6.7. Ben gets in queens to ace 9 off with an ace gone, loses, and then gets rivered there, and he is still 2 million, but 20 bigs. Work cut out. Going back to work. Jack Queen gonna come for a min raise, come to Brazil with the King 5 off. Yeah, I was saying Ben though was chip leader maybe the last time he was at the final table, and was all in flipping jacks to ace king to be out 8th, and then he won the flip and then came back and I think got 2nd overall. So
yeah.
and had a roller coaster FT here. He's started in chip lead, and he is 2nd shortest with 5 left. But again, kind of withstanding some adversity with some kind of
Yeah.
nasty hands. So again, that's one of the benefits of being chip leader. Having chips, you're able to weather a bit of the storm, where we see Allison was short, got doubled, and then all of a sudden queens to aces and you're out. When you cover and have chips, less pressure, you get to kind of move more freely, and then take a blow or two, as we are going to see another pretty big hand. Aces for come to Brazil on the button here. 12.5 blinds. Loves to see the action before.
Interesting now if it's going to be a small 3-bet, which I prefer, or a flat call, which is possible too. Again, lots of aces, and like just 100 hands or so, we've seen like 4 or 5 times aces, right?
Hello. There's a action board. King Queen. Gonna have the king with the gut shot. Aces top set.
I mean, when the ace hits, it's just less likely, right? But still, he has it.
Aces, king, queen. Top set. Goes small. Affordable pricing. King or queen not going to be relevant for Mauricio. Needs the jack. Jack only has to fade. He needs a lot of things to go right, but that price is attractive.
It's a good price. You call and see the turn.
And no J is okay. It is good for come to Brazil. He's going to be up to over 2 mil here. Almost certainly this will just end here. Either way, he's going to be in good shape regardless of how it goes down. And come to Brazil with about half pot on his stack, the SPR stack to pot ratio. Is there can you get greedy still here, or is it just
I think you can bet like 280, 275, something like this, because it's basically already sure your opponent can have king, queen, king, jack, hands like this, but they don't know they have 4 outs, right? So they're calling for their 8%, and that's about it. So
all right. That'll do it. That'll do it to 2 mil. So again, wide open, king 10 suited, queen 9 suited, a couple real hands here. This is an instant classic. We are 2 hours and about 10 minutes into the show. We got plenty of play left. Although again, blinds getting up upper left, and 3 hands will be up even more. It'll get shallower. And look at, man, this guy Vasily, after passing that ace 5 suited spot, has shown us a ton of ability and willingness.
that's right.
All right, ace 3, gonna go ahead and take it up. 5s. This is against the chip leader button open. 2 5s look pretty nice. Does he want to flat or just try to take
Always
it down?
flat.
Yeah, too much chips. 35 blinds. Gonna flat. Also in 3rd place right now. 2 shorter. Gonna come in for a call. Scary board.
Oh, lots of hands.
Yeah, that's a 5-handed. That distribution is pretty strong. Pretty strong hands. Almost 4,000 people watching today. I know you're ready for the giveaway. Ready to get to 4-handed. Ready to get that first 50.
Flat. Jack 9 suited.
Ooh.
Cut off against hijack. That is definitely on the looser side, but also against someone with no time. Like I think that definitely plays into Adrian's decision here. No time makes playing post flop there quite hard.
Lines are up. Mateos, you're calling it the whole way. Calling it the whole way. 6.7 mil. He is doing his thing right now.
My man.
Doing it and doing it. He's got 3 minutes on the clock. We could see multiple clock to 0. We've seen one already, and come to Brazil and Mauricio short. What a match. Fedor is not playing. He is commentating at the moment. When's the last time you've played some online or streamed GGMillions? Have it been a bit since you played online? Or
Quite some time actually. It's just with the time zone, it's just too tricky for my lifestyle right now. I just focus on these live high rollers. Like that's my main focus right now. I let the young guns battle online, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. I get it. It's all, yeah, the time zone is tough too. If you're trying to be in a healthy or wake up and be in your business, like it's to play. If it goes late, you're playing till what, 3, 4 a.m. or so or more. That is tough. Mateo, 6.6, looking to get surprising only, I guess, no, 3 titles. That's out of 18. That's strong. I guess also not playing. He plays a lot of live, is not just playing the crazy amount as everyone else, but he does play a fair amount.
Yeah.
And a impressive finish ratio, 18-3. See, I mean, we've got people who've been 20 final tables on here and hadn't had a win. I know Brock Wisbrod finally got one off the back. I think the 19 playing and won one, but it's a lot of variance at the end. It's no guarantee. Even again, we see Ben comes in chip leader and he's got his work cut out for him at the moment. Ace 8 gonna open up. Not anything exciting on this hand. You started, Fedor, you started with a free roll or like depositing 50, or what was your kind of intro? I forget to poker.
Both.
A little bit of both of that.
Little bit of both, yeah. I started with free rolls and won 80 mans and then deposited 50 probably like 30 times, 40 times. And then at some point didn't deposit anymore.
Yeah, that's what year was it? Like 12 or 13 or so? 11? You started playing a little later than
Yeah. Yeah, I started 2010 and then more 11 and then more 12 and then 13 I started winning.
I remember the first time we played actually, and I remember hearing about you. I think you had already you kind of maybe won the online 5K W Coop or one of these things, or
Yeah.
I heard about you, and then like live was the first time we ever played, and I remember playing exactly where we were, and then I actually remember a specific hand, and I remember thinking, man, what is this kid doing? Or some crazy hand happened. I was like, first time we ever played, and then it was just funny. You just like instantly were winning like all the high rollers and crushing it. But I remember it was like Bahamas and like a side event or something there. Play with you. I think it was around that time. But yeah, that's the most fun, right? The live first start playing live poker and tournaments, and then having any type of success. It's pretty unique, right? It's just like that feeling you can never get back, like those early days of poker and grinding and the unknown if it's going to work or not, or can you do it? And yeah,
can you do it?
It's exciting.
Spoiler, it worked.
Exactly, yeah. Things not the traditional path, but that's what I love about poker. You're in a room with like successful or interesting people or somewhere, and poker is actually always the most interesting. People like if they actually like they like can't believe it. Like, wait, you've done poker, you've played, or that's somehow how you've made some sort of living there. It's always like it's a community that's tight knit, but it's also, I mean, it's not small, but it's not big, and it's very rare. You'll find, well, it's not. It's like in a pocket that not many people do that for a living, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Queen 10, 410, blind on blind, no one making contact. Queen 10, best hand, best draw with the backdoor. Better heart.
410, reasonable to start betting. 10 high backdoor. Pretty bad 10 high. Chip advantage as well. Wow. Gets it through immediately.
Two jack eights, 2 minutes on the clock, and similar stacks, 3.5, 2.8. Jack 8, using some of that clock, Mauricio. Oh.
Let's see which Jack 8 is better.
Position is powerful. Both players, although covered, 3.4, 2.8, slightly covered. Starts with a check. Neither player connecting at all. Same hand. Okay, there's the card where could interest both. Be open-ended.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's Goes from no real enjoyment to semi-bluff territory and clock both players again. Could be down. Ben really holding a lot of clock. He's got more clock than the all players combined with 5
Yeah,
left.
he's a
Not
fast player.
Yeah, not that that's a huge factor. Although if you get down to 0, it does get a little annoying. The 5 seconds to act each street.
I mean, imagine now
600
here, you know, you jack 8, guy calls, you drill the 7 on the. Wow, he folded jack 8 there. That's wild.
He bet into 315. It was a big bet, right?
Yeah, but still, you know, you have an open ender.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to continue any type of air hand, you know, it has to be that one.
There's ace 5 suited, limping in 6 deuce off. One of the worst hands in poker, 7 deuce off, the actual worst. And sometimes you see the worst hands kicking it up here at this stage in this moment. Doesn't decide to raise as the 3 club monotone board. No one with a club. Ace makes top pair. Starts with a check. Yeah, he bet 500 in the 315, right?
Yeah, but still, you know, like it just doesn't really. Like what you have to think about as well, you know, if your opponent is representing a very strong hand there, it's also, I mean, of course, you know, it made, I think the one way it was a 1-cut straight, but you also have the odds to make a really strong hand, right? And sometimes you cannot only continue with decent hands there. You also need to have some hand that's not improving, but also the other way around, like a hand that improves on a straight run out. So I don't know. I think when you have an open ender, you just basically always press call.
Well, ace 5 has found a way to get some money in the pot here with his opponent having not much. 6 deuce off,
Not
million
much.
going come to Brazil's way, and he is out of the depths. 3.3 million. All of a sudden, really again tight now. Adrian separating the 7 million as we see 3.6, 3.3, 2.7, and Ben coming in with the raise, ace 9 suited. To be fair, not only not really seeing coolers, it's been a while where we've seen just sort of not very interesting matchups of hands. Here is one with 4-5 suited getting quite a board. Ace 9 not going to have too much to do here.
I mean, Adrian might lead this board. I think it's reasonable to lead. And Ben, yeah, just folding.
What a flop. That is a ton of flop for that hand. 4-5
that
suited.
Is a flop. Hallelujah.
One you dream up as 9-8 suited and 9. So 9-8
wow.
suited. Old
Immediate muck. It's interesting.
And 9's all of a sudden going to see a matchup with a kind of fake flip, queen jack in there, Ben the shortest and missing, needing a important time for him. 9's really good, really above average flop there. No over. 6-7-3, 2 diamonds, has 9's with the diamond. Ben just not gonna continue. As 8-4 under the gun, gonna muck ace 10, 9-10 suited, pretty hand, and Mateos with the chip lead, and ace 2 suited for Mauricio on the big line. So see 9-10 suited. That's a pretty looking hand, although how it's many blinds? Yeah, we see
probably
2.9, so 2.4. What, 20, 30 blinds?
Reasonable squeeze, yeah. But also flat call is fine.
Whoa. The whole clip.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I've been impressed just with from Cats Chew to come to Brazil, Vishali, the pronounce his name right. They just go for it. Like guys are really taking spots, like playing poker today. There's been a lot of willingness to gamble, a willingness to put pressure. Really, really impressive poker. Even that Queen's hand was cool too. Took it outside the box with the shoot up. Like we've seen a lot of examples of aggression and often rewarded.
That's right. Indeed. Let's see if he raises it up here. It's a reasonable hand to limp raise, by the way. King for offsuit here.
Ace queen on the puck. King six suited come to Brazil. Possible contender for a hand. Ben, man, just it is crazy. Like the tables and how the breakouts go, right? Just one key pot where you're a pretty big favorite and you just lose, and it can just be the difference between being four-handed and control momentum to like hanging on. And I mean, that's just so much about the game is rebounding and again, not being tilted, not being upset, not being able to. We joke about saying about Elliot Rowe, it's true. Like the puzzle and metaphor for life. Things happen, you get lucky, unlucky, and it's part of it, right? You got to play your best, play the hand, and then try not to get in a tough spot. Like here, King nine suited open, ace queen, and ace king. These are a big ask of hands. Ace queen, ace king, five-handed cutoff versus button small blind. This is going to be some chips moving.
Let's see what happens here. I mean, he might go all in. But definitely no, Vasily is all in. Oh, this is kind of ugly. 2.1. 5.8. I mean, not really nice.
Come to Brazil, man. He's a bit of a magician. This guy just, again, like these aren't like the most insane folds ever, but definitely spots where numerous would put it in or go broke or have kind of a losing hand that you could just flick it in, and he's found his way out of the trap. So tough sub-minute on the clock. We could see a triple 0 clock matchup going here at some point as we are chess clock getting whittled down. Also part of the time on the show sometimes can be longer if all the clocks are used, right? Obviously the hands take place, the blinds, how it works. Two hands, we'll see the blinds go up again, but when everyone uses a bunch of their clock, that also does take length to the show. But I again, enjoying myself, having a good time. Fedor Holz joins us, number 10 all-time money list, 48 million. Mateos, number 8, 52 million. Looking to add to his online accolades. This is a 8-9-8-9 matchup with a diamond advantage. Mateos, like his chances here.
We'll often go bet, so very often gets a fold on the turn.
Gut shot. 2 overs to 7 turns into open-ended, although the top open-ended is dicey, not the nuts. Hit the jack, and big bet going to do the trick. Adrian just tees it up, just sets himself up, wins some extra chips. Nothing really can do there for Mauricio.
Yeah.
Seven, 10, deuce, 10, king 9. And here we go. See, again, distribution wise, no one with an ace even. Ben with king 9 on the button with 10 bigs exactly. Would be picking up 250 of his to his 1.2 if he could get this one. And he will get that done. All right. Well, blinds up 71-40. It is moving time. This is where not much else can be done other than chips start moving in there. Mauricio crossing that minute shot clock. Ace 3, ace 9, 7, 9 suited. Understanding that the chip leader is going to be opening the widest and 5-handed. Ace 9 becomes a decision. And he does take it. Come to Brazil, gets it right again. Game of inches, takes it. Oh, I got to ask you, Fedor, Austria, paddle or padel, depending where you're in the world. Is that becoming the new craze? Because over here, it's like all I can think about playing all as much as I can. And it's like everyone loves it. Is it a thing there yet? Is that the new business plan?
I think it's a thing there before it's been a thing over there.
Oh, wow.
It's like there's already a 50, 60 people league here.
Okay.
Of just poker players. So like they're
wow.
In the grind for sure.
Wow, interesting. Okay, good to know. I didn't realize Austria was a hotbed for that. I know it's definitely
It's
parts of
like
the world.
the poker players love it.
Yeah, it's a great game. Who's anyone? I played with Mustafa Knit over here. He was here before Bahamas. We played a fair amount. I know he was telling me the Winamax guys like Gus Hansen and some of the other guys are pretty tough and good players.
Karai is like the organizer here. He's very good.
All right. I have to reach out to him, make sure we get some games in there. I'm always curious. It's like poker or any game, golf. Like you think you're good, or you kind of match up with your groups, and then you just don't really know what you could walk into a tough spot, right, where people are just good because the levels. If you're a half level better than the others, it's a big difference. So it's curious. I have no idea how the poker community is overall in this sport. I haven't played much with them.
That's something good to give fans. I mean, do you know Maxi Lemansky? It's like a German guy, big blonde, good looking.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's very, very good. There's some guys that play rather competitive.
We might need to get a World Series tournament. Like I think there's one like place instead of the soccer, or do both have the World Cup, maybe 2 different events, countries. That could be fun. If teams of 4 too. It's a great sport for, it's not too time committal, but it's also great exercise. Yeah, it's
for sure
fun. What's your ability? Do you play a bit?
I'm bad. Like, all right, bad to okay.
Got it.
At least compared to my
your core.
Yeah.
That's
to my peers.
That's an important thing in poker too, to know where you stand. If you think you're, you don't want to be. You want to be realistic on where you stand at the moment, because that's a dangerous thing if you start getting in. I actually had a friend who played tennis at a high level. I played paddle with him a couple years ago, and I've been playing a lot, and I feel pretty confident. He wanted to bet me 10 grand, spot me 5-0, which I think is insane. But I will say my Jack 10 suited. Just this is the reason why this is so effective, because you get this Ben's gonna obviously put in the ace jack, but then a hand like Mauricio, a player, doesn't call off there, and Mateos just gets to strut his stuff there and get a good result. Nice hand. What do you think Mauricio would call with there? How strong a hand would he, like ace king? He can't fold, but what about? I mean, it's close for ICM.
You mean against an all-in, or
he just jammed Jack 10 suited and got Ben to fold ace jack last hand? But would Mauricio, or I'm sorry, Mauricio had ace jack last hand.
Yeah, I mean, you probably call. I mean, I personally would call ace king. I mean, you're gonna be in a pretty decent chip leader position for quite some time. Like, I think it's worth to gamble a little bit more than just what the sim says. The sim would be very tight there. Probably would not call ace king.
Interesting. Sevens, ace 10. Mateos, wow, look at that. 7-7 with 7,777 at 70K small blind. That is a sign. This man, he's playing. He's coming in looking for another 7, and he gets a very intriguing flop. Ben with the pair in a 6-8 of hearts. That is quite a flop with him at less than 1 in the stack pot ratio. And I mean, Adrian, though, gonna look him up, and he has a heart. This is pretty fair fight.
Yeah, I think this will go. Vasily checks, and then let's see what happens.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Drawing that, right?
That particular emoji. That is correct. That is the lockup for Ben to 1.7 plus, and he is gonna like that turn
Yeah, he's
card.
gonna bet small. And then fold call, and then let's see the river.
Yeah, I mean Mateos with overpair to the board and a heart here. I mean it's kind of tough when you don't know what you want, but
Right.
I guess okay, so he puts it in. Interesting. Gonna
Interesting.
see that spot where I guess that's kind of the problem there, right? He didn't know necessarily. I think maybe it would serve better to call, and then you would have called there. I think that's that was my instinct, but maybe
Yeah, I think I would have, but I mean, it's kind of a mergy
yeah,
situation where he
exactly.
thinks, Ben might bet 6x against two ranges that contain quite a lot of two overs. So it's like Adrian just rips it. Immediate revenge.
Yep, he ripped the Jack 10 suited before it got Mauricio to fold Ace Jack, and which for a lot of chips risking as well. But again, showing us that he just kind of just so dangerous. Sits back, doesn't really seem like he's doing too much, and the next thing you know, he's just shifting gears and putting immediate max pressure on people at the moment. This is an exciting part of the tournament. 70K, 140K big blind, 11 more hands will move up even more, and the time bank clock getting thinner and thinner for these two that are in the pot. Jack 8, 10, 7, Jack 8 gonna pair. Yeah, some cool hands from Mateos. About 4,000 people. We got 15% of you hit the thumbs up. We still haven't got the giveaway queue because at four-hander, we're going to knock it down. The $50 ticket. Be ready. Be ready for that. This has been turned into a long final table all of a sudden where we are still five-handed about 2 hours, 45 minutes in, 2 hours, 40 roughly. It's, again, though, it can just go fast. Like it just sort of the general timeline roughs around 2.5, 3 hours. This one looking like it'll lean on the longer side of it. But hey, when you got the best in the world playing for 300 and what are we talking about? 376. A lot to play for. A lot of bragging rights here too, not just the money, the titles.
Yeah.
King 3, Jack 5, gonna just get out of the way. Hey, they feel the heat coming from Adrian. You're gonna just say it's not the time to limp in. He's so dialed in too, right? When he's aware that they're aware, he probably, when someone limps, he might not even just go for the auto like kick up,
No,
right?
I mean, he's he's obviously quite aggressive, but he also really honors the game, It's not like he's just not showing blind aggression. He's really thinking about
Yep.
The spots and which hands and
Yep. Fun to watch. Always fun to watch. I always enjoy to see new spots that I don't even think about. That's when I know I need to really lock in. It's when I'm looking at spots and things are happening and I'm not even like, oh, I wouldn't even have, that wasn't one of the things I was considering. King Jack gonna open here. And a pickup there. 47 seconds, 37, 237, 829. And Ben gonna fold, and we are likely to see another walk here. Certainly, these four would be playing for the chips. And a couple of nice ace suiteds, and then the ace king for come to Brazil. Did this go 3-bet and then have to commit call here? Was he going 280? Does he want to?
I mean, you might reshove even.
Okay, so interesting. Come to Brazil gets just an absolute lovely spot. Gets raise, re-raise. They share a 7, and now he gets to rip it in. And Mauricio I'm gonna do some math, but what that's 1.2 more. Wait, what's in there? So no, he's got to still call. He's calling 1.2, and there's 285.
Yeah, he needs 30%, so it's a fold. Sucks, but
well, Mauricio is using a lot of that clock to come to that conclusion. Will he come there, or will he decide to gamble it up? I don't know. He's using a lot of clock. Does fold down to 9 seconds. So that was it. Arrived to the same conclusion as Mr. Fedor, but that took some time. 9 seconds left. Ace 10 here, and Mateos going to be able to continue get in here for cheap. Close the action. See the board. Miss it. Pretty straightforward. Going to be on to the next hand. The giveaway. How do we get into the giveaway? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Giveaway's coming.
giveaway.
Three giveaways. We got the tweet. That's one. I gotta say that there's a lot of Fedor, a lot of energy today. 640 thumbs up, almost 4,000 watching. An epic show today. It's been fun. I got a feeling we're gonna see a bang. It's gonna get hot and heavy fast. Like we're gonna hit that 8160, or we're gonna go up, and it's just gonna be. It's just like we're here, right? It's now Adrian starting to shove, so show muscle. We got short bend stack. I mean, we're going to be seeing all ends, right? It's getting to that point. We are sort of pushed up to the big blinds where not a lot of maneuvering. We're seeing big boy poker here. Ben is going to fold, but honestly, some crazy ugly hands for 5-hand, and no one even with nothing to even look at there. Get a walk. Pretty rare you'll see a walk here. 5-hand. There it is. 8160. So Ben with 10 blinds. We got 20 blinds.
Open shoving.
Open shoving. We got action. We got a call. Ben's going to need to hold on a slight favorite flip.
I have the feeling that's it for him.
You think you just don't feel it. You don't think that I'm going to.
I feel like he's not on the good side of variance
with
today.
3.3 in the middle. Oh, come on. Diamond for a sweat. Diamond for a sweat. Everyone at home. Is it blue? Is it true? It is not. That is a 5, and that is GGB. Bency B gonna go out. Start of the day chip leader. He'll be disappointed in 5th again. Got it in good. Queen's to ace 9. Lost that 7 on the river. Ace Jack to ace 7 for a big pot to Adrian. Wasn't really in the cards for him today, but we are gonna again play 4-hand. I need to come to Brazil now. I'm definitely in trouble. You have got. We could wash though. Asili could do it for a wash. Come to Brazil for a win. You are the favorite. 310.
That's gonna be Adrian. I have a strong read on this one.
Okay. I get it. You've stuck with that. You're not wavering. Well, if you don't use Twitter, it could be worth making one for a chance at 50. Other giveaways, it might be too much to ask. If not, you can just be eligible for the $50 or $100 GG ticket. King 9. Board gets a little dicier for the 2 pair, bottom 2, but enough to keep betting. Okay. And King Queen. The best looking hand out of the lot. Not much else going. Mauricio folding 5 seconds. Oh, there we go. Double 0 on the clock. Kind of rare. Come to Brazil. I don't think we've ever had 3 people with 0 on the clock.
It's giveaway time, right?
You are correct, Fedor. That's why you're paid the big bucks. You don't miss much. That is true. We were missing the giveaway. The chat is ready. They know it. 4-hand. They've been very patient. They've been super patient. We're gonna queue it up here. Let's do it. GG WSOP space. Typing it in, guys. Typing it in, and then here. GG poker.
Vasily with the snap 4-bet, but in the wrong spot.
stepped into the wrong time. Adrian just dialed with the goods. Right place, right time. All right, here we go. Boom. GGW. So P space Fedor space enter your GGPoker username. That's a $50 ticket on the line. That's a 50 on the line. Mateos just separating now. Everyone about even, and then there's Adrian. Then there is Adrian out on an island. There's the Queens. Ooh, come to Brazil. Could we get the heads up? Adrian versus come to Brazil with even stacks. That would be what we wanted. That was what we came for. Ace-7 suited. Queens. Nice spot. Time bank ticking. That would be something. A 4-way 0 time banks for everybody. Just chess clock. We could call Botez up for that. Give her insight on the speed poker format here. Ace-7 suited. Gonna let it go. Wow. Maybe the time bank saved him there. He might have had ill intention.
I think it did.
Yeah, that might have, or it could have worked out, right? Ace-7 suited, dangerous hand versus that. Now we got poker. We got the chat. We got people going nuts. Gotta say, twice max, please. Don't spam multiple times. The giveaway is underway. Our team's going to pick a winner for 50. We'll have the 100 rolling out right after. But this chat is feeling it. King Jack suited. This one's in solver world. King Jack suited, a hand that likes to get aggressive. Not too much can go wrong. He's covering everyone. Does just call, and everyone missed the board. Ace high in the lead. All right, we have officially, the chat is unhinged. They are unleashed. Going to request you to put it once, twice max. And good luck out there. Mateos, this hand felt like it deserved more. Maybe he finds another. Does he get creative some other way, or is this just a brick? He does have the 2 overs, and he is going to find a way to get out there. He's dominated. And 181. Next jump, next payout. What a day. What a fun FT. We are going to cross the 3-hour mark almost surely today. And again, I do put out the highlights from the GGMillion on my personal YouTube channel, Jeff Gross Poker. Usually get that out within the week. You guys, if you just have, 5 to 10 minutes, you want to watch the knockouts only, but it's more fun to watch it through here with us live. Of course, it's also, you get to see the timing, the tempo, and the whole deal. But we are, some people don't have that always, or you want to just, or best yet, watch with us and then get to revisit the knockouts. These are long streams. They're fun. And we are seeing a pair going to rip it in. And this man, Adrian's on a mission.
He is. No prisoners.
No, he's officially taking names. This guy, how much fun is Adrian having? Who loves poker more than him? You can maybe tie him. Guy loves live, loves online. Here he goes. And the best players in the world. He is chip leader, four-handed, getting to just click it in and rip it, grip it, and ship it. Trying to take another title and put him in that kind of unicorn territory of 4 titles on the GGMillion. Not many have done that. Although Artur, who is here today, the number 1 all time with 11 titles. And he is saying, hey, like, I guess I'm wrong, right? I said, does he just take the bait? Like, he knows people aren't just limping in with air against him, but King Jack, a good enough hand to limp and play. And the 4-4-4.
He's going to fire that one.
Yeah, if you're going to, if there's ever a board. $400 for the 4. Look at him. He's just getting the 4s working there, and just my man he is cooking. That is the King Jack, the fold there. Is that seems tight? Is that just ICM handcuff or what?
I mean, sometimes we got to take a stand.
That's how I'm in that camp. I try not to be biased and be brave with the whole cards up and knowing you got the best, but that just felt like he's going to just attack. You got to believe he's got the best hand so often. I would be closing my eyes and calling that one, I think. Easier in the booth. It's easier in the booth.
Easier in the booth.
It is a little easier. Slightly simpler. 9.7 million. He is now crossed in on all. He's got more than 50%. He's got more than all the chips combined with the other players. How do you know these things, Fedor? You just see the truth.
I don't know. Not
Jack,
sure I know.
Jack 10, King Jack. We might see no time bank everywhere. It's moving that direction. 2.5 mil. Gonna go ahead and min raise. This one is going upstairs. King Jack suited. That's the whole shirt, a whole enchilada. No, that's all of it. Yeah, 3.6 coming in. Recio. You don't need poker code to know that shove there, Fedor. I could tell you that was a shove.
Some people do.
That's true. That's true.
So at some point you gotta learn.
Yes, that is a good point. It's important to. At the same time, now there's mystery bounties and different games, PLO and 5 card and all kinds of stuff. But Hold'em still so fun and pure. I will say I've been predominantly playing Pot Limit Omaha cash games. That's like the main game I participate in and play regularly. But No Limit Cash has been sort of resurged and it is fun. We actually play a variation. Oh, hello. Wait, hold that thought. Ace Jack 10 suited. This is, you don't want to be caught off, but you just know that it's got to be the best hand here. It is, but Jack 10 looks dangerous, powerful. Jack 10 suited. That is an interesting board. That is interesting. Needs a river card. 16% Ace Jack, actually in phenomenal shape. Okay. Adrian gonna double one up there. All right, let me pick this $50 winner. Actually, I'll wait till we get to 3-handed. I'll do that. Well, everyone's put it in there. I was saying, so all right, tell me what you think of this game. And I'm sure you may have seen or heard a variation of this, but this is fun how we do it. It's kind of like Squid, but a different way of doing it. So Queen 9 gonna rip. We play with Hot Wheels, okay? So you have Hot Wheel cars. Imagine, I'm sure you guys, know Hot Wheels as a kid. Everyone loves Hot Wheels. You have these cars, you put one in the pot. If you win the pot, you get a car, right? Nothing happens. You're playing, let's say 8-handed Hold'em, let's just say. Next hand, you win the pot in a row, you get another car. So everyone pays you a bonus, right? Let's say $50, for example, right? Now, if you win the third hand in a row, you get 100, you get another car. So this keeps going. You can uncap it or you can cap it at a certain amount where if you win 5 or 6, it's only a certain amount, but it adds like a pretty fun and no limit. It always has you thinking about something and it's just kind of an extra element. Have you ever played a variation like that? Maybe not with cars, but like a progressive?
No.
Yeah, it's become something we tried and now it's sort of only how it's like it's become where Hot Wheels are. BYO, C. You got to bring your own cars and people love it and they have their own little thing they like, Batmobiles and cars, trucks, and it's gotten a little out of hand. It's fun too because like you wheel them in, you lose the pot or you win, you push it in you wheel it across, and yeah, it's a whole ordeal. So anyway, just it's fun. I gotta say, it's a little newer. In the last like few months, started doing that, but now it's like 90% we play that.
And who's winning the most cars? Is it you, Jeff?
I don't play. I mean, I'm not always playing, but no, it's funny. You wouldn't know. It's not guys you would know. Like it's not known names, but there's it's some people are definitely more willing to go for it. I will tell you this: you put that in the GTO calculator on the risk, and people are really willing to risk for like for the second or third car. They put in a bit too much chips at many times, I would say, but which makes it fun. So again, that's my thing about poker. It's always going to be, there'll be some iteration, variation, or way to make it. People just kind of like to have that mix of skill and luck in the game. But yeah, here we are seeing 4-handed play. Still going to cue that giveaway up in a second. Almost 680. Do have to be hitting that thumbs up and subscribe to win. And I do queuing the winner up in a second. We'll get that last 100 for you guys here as well. Queen 9, Queen Jack in the lead.
Reasonable spot to start betting.
Eights. That's a nice sight. 4-handed. Eights with 5 mil, 160 big blind. Come to Brazil really on a little comeback here. 4.2 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The audience is gonna have to remind me. I think there was a one big blind comeback or less than one blind comeback at the final table, like in the last 2 months, like 6 weeks ago or something. Someone did it. I think they came back from less than a blind, like 6-7 handed, and won. It's pretty spectacular. It's drawing a blade. There's so many amazing runs and moments in here. I can't even think. Someone maybe here could remember that for me. 700 thumbs up. All right, I'm gonna cue the winner, and then we'll pause for 100 once we get down to 3. I'll just put it out now. I think everyone's had a chance to do that. Blinds are up 100, 200. This is the level.
This is it. Coach Brazil, let's see. Can you do it? Yep. A lot in the middle.
All right, $50 win at Thomas Brainbridge. GG Whack Snap. You are the winner for the 50. We got the 100 still going. Don't worry. And the tweet, you guys, a lot of people put that tweet out there. If Fedor wins, we'll redo it. I did tag him wrong though. I tagged someone had Fedor Holz on there. It was it's funny. Never your crown up guy across the board. I knew that actually. We are where can people fall? Where are you the most? Well, these are huge hands. Everyone's got Broadway. All of a sudden, no one has anything now. Everyone's got Broadway.
Yeah, but you should have reshoved the King Jack suited. That's not bueno.
And now, in that moment, that potentially saved him, right? But that's not what you would recommend there.
No, I mean the other way around, right? Like it cost him. If he goes all in, Adrian folds.
Okay, no, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yes, so he should have. Yeah, you would have jammed, and that's one of the reasons for that exact hand class.
Correct.
To get to fold the king queen. That's part of the reason why it is beneficial.
Yeah.
Ryan, Fedor already did mention a couple times he is playing Tritons, and he will be at the Jeju Triton, so you can sweat there. And we are potential history away from Come to Brazil being one of 3 players that have the shot clock at 0, although there's a chance we don't get to that stage with Mauricio here potentially going out.
Looks like
he's gonna need some help.
Yeah, I think that's the end for him.
The ace-7 off does feel just ugly, right? It doesn't feel.
Yeah.
There's not a lot.
Doesn't feel lucky.
Yeah, it just feels dominated and flat. It's also dominated with the club needs some real help on the river. 86%, 7 needs it from heaven, or we will move along, and that is straight to the queen. Come to Brazil told Mauricio to take a break. That's it. Down to 3. Podium level 230 locked up. And hey, we're getting what we might have paid for. Adrian versus Come to Brazil heads up, and Vasily on the side there. With the shorter of the stacks, but still in. Oh, okay. Ryan's asking if you're only playing Triton exclusively. It looks like you bounce around a bit, right? Here and there, you still play some other stuff in WSOP.
Mostly Triton.
Yeah.
WSOP sometimes.
Would you say Triton has gotten stronger in the last year or two, like in terms of like strong as the competition stronger, or more kind of VIPs and a little more? How would you give it?
More of everything.
Just everything.
More of everything.
Yeah.
More regulars, more recreationals, bigger fields. I mean, the Asian stops are different than the European ones, right? Like, it's just a different stop in Jeju, just because closer to Asia, and money is just different in Asia.
Yeah.
25K is cheap.
Yeah, it's a bargain. It is crazy. Fours and deuces, 200 for the deuces, 400 for the fours. He is going to go. Oh, wow. Gets it called. Fours can't believe they're going to be in that good of shape. Could be flipping, could see some other scenario, but here it stands with a 7 on the possible, what, a 7 would chop. No, the river looks like a 5 and
Wow. Chop.
wow. That is, yeah, okay, a 5 or yeah, that is a dramatic way to chop. Fours gets it in significantly good, pretty crazy there. We were about to see the heads up that we were demanding, but for at least for our own personal enjoyment for a sweat. But here we go, Vasily with some newfound life, gonna race, shove the queen 10. Hey, let's try it again. Ace queen suited this time, dominating the queen 10 suited as the ace pairs needs runners. And
that's all they wrote.
That on the turn, not the action card that we would have expected. That was dry and clean and heads up. Good game though. Happy for that third place. He will take 231 for his efforts, and he came in, I believe, he was middle of the pack. Started 5th, ended 3rd, so he'll sign for that. Gets about 90K in equity of pay jump there. And here we go. Sorchi, good luck. Boa Sorchi, come to Brazil. Vamos, gente. All the Brazilians out there. Prazer, tudo bem? And we are gambling now. 1 minute 25 on the clock. Oh, let's get the 100 out. This could be over in a second. What am I doing, guys? Sorry, $100 giveaway. I've done the tweet enough. Jeff Gross Poker. I'm not going to put the link again, but it's there. It's available. $50 cash and the $100 giveaway. Let's do this right now. GG, WSOP. What are we going to put for the keyword? Let's put. You have any keyword? Any fun words in German or something you want? Any word come to mind for the keyword for the 100? Fedor, I'll let you choose. Guess the honor today. Put you on the spot. You're crazy.
Yeah.
Give us something fun.
German words.
It doesn't have to be German. Could be English. Could be whatever. Something you're feeling.
Let's take luck. You know.
Luck.
All
right, we're gonna say it in Portuguese. Sorchi. Sorchi, and enter your GGPoker username. That seems like a nice word for. I hope I'm spelling that right. I think it is Sorchi. Yeah, that's fine. If not, what's SORTE? I think that's right. This is for 100. GG. $100. Wow. Here we go.
Ace 3 off 3 bet. Not sure about that one. Okay. Calls the queens.
This has got the giveaways queued up for 100. GGWSOP space Sorchi, enter your name. And this could be crickets. This could be curtains, crickets, showers, whatever you want to say. This is a guy, he took the lead, and Mateos is in there with queens fading 5 outs.
Yeah, Mateos is raising flop. I think very often here, like 1.7, 1.8. And I think counter reserve might just rip it.
That's what I'm saying. This seems like 5. This could be 5 outs for all of it. He's got 4 seconds left. He's thinking about it. Doesn't have a heart in there. Could be against the draw. He's got the pair. There it is. It's on their backs. Yeah. Queens to ace 3. 5 outs, 2 to come. Mateos going for his 4th title. 6 on the turn. There you see ace or 3, or it is to be Adrian Mateos. That is it. Quick heads up match. The GGs are out. That is a great game. Come to Brazil, started in 2nd, finished in 2nd. Adrian Mateos laddered from 3rd to 1st. Ben CB went out 5th, got a little bit of a run out. And Mateos, Fedor called it, wins the dinner at home. The audience, it's just all you could ask for. Really, it got slow for a second, but as expected, with such a fast start.
So what's the best restaurants in Miami?
Well, since we clarify the place, I mean, there's a wide variety. We can go a ton. You don't eat meat, correct? So we got to keep
in and out.
There's a narrow range. There's a narrow range of things, but we'll get you something nice, and we'll have a good time. And maybe Vegas, maybe Miami, maybe a Triton stop. And again, the audience has been on fire today. But Fedor, as I pick this $100 winner, which I'm about to put in the chat, give me your takeaways for today. Anything stand out? There's a look at the odds to win. You would have got about 7 to 1 on your money with Mateos. You picked it, your main pick, and you nailed it. What stood out for you today?
I mean, what I have to say, I think is, I think he just played. I think you saw exactly the difference between, lots of good players and an exceptional player. I feel it's like lots of small situations where I just think he played extremely clean today, and I think he's a deserved winner. So big congrats, and yeah, just played it very well.
Well, that is well said, well thought. You were dialed in on sizings, on tempo, timing, the whole deal. We wish you a lot of luck at the Triton in Jeju. And of course, Fedor Holz, someone that we always love to have on here, number 10 all-time money list, 48 million in counting, may cross that 50 mil mark over in Jeju, and we'll celebrate next time you're on with that. I got a good feeling for you out there, and we'll see you on the show again soon. Thank you so much for the time. And where can people follow you on
Jeff.
Socials? Where are you the most active?
Yeah, nowadays basically only on Twitter, or X, how they say nowadays. So crown up guy there. Besides that, yeah, you'll see me in the Triton stream winning the next trophy. I'm ready.
Okay, well, there you have it. If you want to know more about Fedor, a lot of content online. He has the course Poker Code, and he has also been on my podcast. It's been a while. We got to run that back maybe live in the new studio in Miami. That'd be fun when you get out here. And in the meantime, best of luck, safe travels, and we'll see you on GG Millions next month. We'll run it back at some point.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Cheers.
Yeah, everyone.
Bye.